Ex-WWE superstar Mankind here. Ever since Mankind's Mattress Emporium filed bankruptcy, I've been reduced to slinging quarters here at Mankind's Corner Laundromat. Here at Mankind's Corner Laundromat, we always got free powder detergent for you to wash away the stains of regret and failure out of your life. Mankind's Corner Laundromat is open to the downtrodden, hopeless, and destitute. Just because God has turned his back on your ugly soul doesn't mean we have. Here's wrestling legend Ric Flair to tell you just how adequate our laundromat is.
Woo! Ric Flair here. I got a long limo, I got fancy watch, I got some fine-ass clothes, and I like looking good while these women's. Ric Flair's too busy looking good to worry about his clothes shrinking to teensy-weensy sizes because some shit-ass laundromat don't know how to do their fucking jobs. Mankind's Corner Laundromat knows how to treat the nature boy. Woo! Even gets them tough love fuck stains out of my daughter Charlotte's jockstrap. Woo! Ric Flair's gonna take this fancy shirt, this jacket, this Rolex, this watch, these cufflinks, this tie, these socks, these shoes, and he's gonna get in his limo, and he's gonna park his limo in his jet, and he's gonna sail off in the sun with 50,000 beautiful women. Woo!
If that ain't enough, here's a testimonial from the Nugget, Owen Hart.
Mr. Foley, Owen Hart died.
What? When?
He died in 1999 in a wrestling event.
That lucky son of a bitch, it should have been me. Well, come on down to Mankind's Corner Laundromat, where you'll always have a nice day.
Woo!
Welcome back again, and hopefully you're wearing some fresh clothes because you've been visiting Mankind's Corner Laundromat.
It's a nice place.
It is a very, very nice place.
Very primo.
It's a home for anybody who's down on their luck.
Yeah.
We're back again, Good Ole Gamers podcast. It's episode number 83, February 4th, 2017, Lord of our dictator, Donald Trump. Or year of the dictator, Donald Trump. So I meant to say. Year of our Lord, Donald Trump. It is 11:37 p.m. Pulling a later tonight. I'm Lyle McClendon. I'm joined, as always, Mr. Brandon Gentry.
Go fuck yourself.
Hey, we got a returning guest. Our buddy Jason Chandler is back with us tonight.
Hello, everybody.
We're going to talk some video games this evening, I do suppose.
God dang video games. Sorry for the break, y'all.
So,
had some fuckery.
Yeah, last weekend, we were supposed to record on Sunday. Brendan's anniversary was last weekend, and Sunday, last minute, pretty much, I had to take my grandmother to see her sickly sister in the hospital, so fuckery befell us. We didn't get to record, but we're back now. Everything's good and on track. So how's everybody doing?
Doing busy.
Good. All rested up.
Busy as fuck.
Lyle and I hit the old Pints and Pixels in Huntsville last night.
Nice.
We did. Ended up playing more pinball than anything.
I don't blame you.
Mm-hmm.
Pinball, Miss Pac-Man.
I mean, you can't play pinball on your old MAME cabinet worth of shit.
No.
They added Ghostbusters, Terminator 2. Arcade games, they added Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Smash TV.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
I hit 53 million on Indiana Jones last night.
Sweet.
Pretty happy. And I hit 35 on Terminator 2. I hit the fucking 20,000 or 20 million jackpot.
That one's hard.
Pretty
awesome.
They're one of the
Pretty
top
happy.
men on that Indiana Jones. Top man.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Never mind. Well, we're going to kick it off with our news segment. I reported this shit the other day. It kind of sucks. Talking about Pac-Man and such. Pac-Man creator Masaya Nakamura, I think that's how you say his first name.
Yep.
Died at the age of 90. I mean, he hung in there for a while.
Yeah.
91.
Yeah.
Well, he even hung in there a little bit longer.
Made one more level.
But
Well,
sucks.
may his ghost chase us endlessly through mazes.
Yep. May his ghost get to eat all the free pills he wants. Because I know I don't get to enjoy such luxury. I could, but it might be the last time I do anything.
Pretty cool guy. Push for consoles and handhelds to be popularized. He started Namco by founding it as a rooftop amusement ride thing before he turned it into a video game company in the 70s. Toru Iwatani invented Pac-Man, but he really pushed it, and that's why he's the father of it instead of the creator. Did a lot for the company.
Final Fantasy 15, of course, has DLC outfits coming out, and they have been delayed because they look oddly similar to the new Power Rangers coming out in the new Power Rangers movie next month. Mm-hmm. They even have the same fucking color schemes as the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
The DLC fucker of that game is the exact reason why I'm not.
It is
looking forward
fucking
to
legendary at this point.
I'm not looking. That's why I'm not looking forward to Final Fantasy VII remake. It's going to be a shit show with this kind of stuff.
And DLC's even, we bitch about DLC frequently on here, and it's even to the point now where your DLC is even getting way more and more skimpy.
Yeah.
And, like Titanfall 2, for example, bought it on PS4. I bought the standard one for fucking $60. They got the deluxe one out that's like 80, I think $79.99. So I got to looking. All the DLC for that shit is pretty much your fucking banners, symbols, call tags, and shit like that are unlocked.
Spectacular.
No fucking reason to pay $20 extra.
I will say,
it is worth $60 because I think Titanfall 2 is fun. If you like first person shooters,
I'll say this: as far as DLC goes, that's the only kind of DLC I don't mind.
Like banners and
cosmetics. Because I don't fucking
it's not
need them.
Essential purchase.
Right.
Well, yeah, it's not an actual core part of the game.
Right.
Chapter
I would
of the
rather
campaign.
I'd rather get the entire game in my initial purchase, and then extra shit like colors and camos and whatnot. I don't give a fuck. So that's
I see what you
because it's like
there.
Resident Evil 7's already releasing like another chapter.
January
campaign.
31st and February 12th. There are 2 chapters of DLC
that's
for
too
Resident Evil
soon.
7. Resident Evil 7 hasn't even been out for fucking 3 weeks.
If I find out that shit's on the disc, I'm gonna lose it.
It wouldn't surprise me
because they've done that with the past Resident Evil games.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
I'm going to end up buying Resident Evil 7s. I really want it, but at this point, I'm probably going to wait
Wait for
until the fucking
definitive
deluxe edition comes
They will
out.
release a complete edition with all the DLC on it.
It's Capcom. They're going to Resident Evil 7 Biohazard Turbo Alpha Omega Edition Director's Cut 2 Alpha Centauri.
They did that to me. They did that to me with Resident Evil 5. They released a gold edition with all the DLC on it. So if you want the complete edition of RE5, it's the gold edition. They'll do the same thing to 7. I know it.
It's never going to happen because microtransactions rule the roost now, and it's pretty much the future. But I miss expansion packs.
I do too.
Expansion packs are great. It was almost a second game you bought for like $20, $30. And that was fine with it because they started that after the game was made.
The last good time they did that was Painkiller Battle Out of Hell. It was like an entire
that's one of the things I loved about the Sims. I actually liked the Sims expansion shit and bought all them because it added fucking new mechanics and shit.
The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind had great expansions. Blood Moon and some other one I can't remember. They were great. They were full expansions. They added a shitload to the game, but everything's micro now, and they cost the same. They just
milking that shit, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing that really pissed me off about Final Fantasy VII is when they said that it was going to be released in chapters or whatever, because the scope of Final Fantasy VII is so big, we can't possibly release it in a single game. I'm like, you fucking did it already.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You literally did it
You've
before.
already released it for, like, every fucking format that would handle it at the time as well. So,
Yeah. Don't fucking tell me you can't fit it in one game, because you fucking fit it in one game before. It's called Final Fantasy VII if you haven't heard about it.
Yep.
You've made fucking 8 games since 7, and they've all been on the same length and scale pretty much as 7. Like,
Yeah.
I wonder what they're gonna use for an excuse for that time, because I remember with one of Capcom's games, they found out that there was on disc DLC, and so people raged, and their excuse about it was, well, people just they like having it delivered to them quickly, so yeah, when you buy it you're getting an unlock and it's already on disc. It's a speedy delivery method. And I was like, so you're trying to combat download times.
So technically, by it being on the disc that I've already fucking purchased,
It's no longer downloadable.
It's
I've
your
technically
property.
already bought this once.
Right, you own it.
Well, since we're on the word of Squaresoft, they did make a big announcement that they're partnering with Marvel to make Avengers video games now.
Oh, boy.
Crystal Dynamics and Square. I think it's the same team that's behind like the new Tomb Raiders.
I'm just burnt out on superheroes, man. Like, I grew up with comics. I'm just
I love them.
tired of
I
it.
love them too, but I'm kind of waiting on that next wave of shit to catch on, and it's still not happening because there's so many more Marvel stories they've got lined up.
Yeah.
You know, they've got the Marvel universe lined up already to like 2020 now, and it's going to keep fucking going.
Yeah.
Logan's about the only thing I've been excited for superhero.
Watchmen was the last one I cared about.
I was excited about Deadpool 2, but they're having a lot of production problems and people leaving, the director, so
They're
I'm
wanting
worried
fucking
about
Pierce Brosnan to play Cable, and I'm like, don't do that. Please
can't-
don't
Oh,
do that.
I can't stress to you how big of a Cable fan I am. I had a lot of X-Force comics. I loved him, guest appearing in other comics. I loved him on the animated X-Men cartoon. So yeah, that Pierce Brosnan shit really worries me as a Cable fan. So
I don't know.
I'll save my news for last.
Okay, well, one thing I do want to say that I am kind of happy about, they announced Stardew Valley is getting a limited physical release for PS4 and Xbox One.
Oh, yeah. Limited run games? Yeah. Cool.
I'm going to probably pick that up more than likely because that's worked its way on, of course. I talk about that shit all the time, so it's definitely up on my list now.
I got some news. Conan Exiles has lots of dicks in it.
It's
Floppy dongs
yeah.
everywhere.
It's actually looking pretty good from what I've seen, though.
It does look fun. There are some weird glitches when you kill monsters, but, it looks way better than the previous Conan
summoning
games.
Lovecraftian gods at some point.
Yes.
That's always one of my favorite things about the Conan universe is how it was connected to the Lovecraftian universe.
The two authors were friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
I did not know that until just now.
So
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Conan
There's
follower.
some characters from the Conan
Dude,
universe and
old
Lovecraft
Conan books are
stories.
so fucking good.
And then-
they were brutal as fuck.
Nice.
And then, of course, there's some
It's hard to
monsters in
find
Conan.
I was going to say, was the author of Conan Sir
Robert
Was
E.
it-
Howard, I think.
Robert E. Howard? Who am I
Sounds
thinking
right.
about?
Are you
Author
s-
Conan Doyle.
that's
most-
Sherlock Holmes. You're thinking
Okay,
of,
yeah.
Most of the Conan books were not written by him, though. There's other authors after him that picked them up.
Nice.
That's like a lot of the H.P. Lovecraft books you pick up now. They're either half finished or they were just had poor grammar or something in it. And so there was this Indian man, Sethi is his last name, whose whole thing is adapting and studying Lovecraft. So a lot of the books out there are actually like finished by him. So there's like a lot of half finished or poorly done Lovecraft stories that were actually not finished by him. So
one thing I've seen with the newer Lovecraft stuff that I don't like is they've kind of created a pantheon with the Lovecraft gods. Well, even calling them gods is overstepping it. Really, Lovecraft never really intended them to be gods. They were just extra dimensional forces, I guess would be the way to say it. And this saying like a pantheon set up where Cthulhu is like basically the priest, and there's a hierarchy.
Yeah,
that's wrong.
This isn't Forgotten Realms. Lovecraft was outside of that shit. There's a reason why Cthulhu got defeated by a tugboat. He's not really a god.
very true. People need to remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people have never read Call of Cthulhu. Cthulhu got his ass whooped by a tugboat, man. I'm sorry. I love it, but
A little tugboat that could. That motherfucker just drowned Cthulhu ass. Shit, yeah, my brother.
Gameplay footage and concept art of the canceled Darth Maul game was been released online, as well as canceled gameplay footage from the Sin City game that was supposed to tie in with the movie back in 2005.
That would have been cool.
It looks pretty neat in the gameplay.
That's another
reels.
comic book movie I was a really big fan of.
Me too.
Oh, yeah, Sin City was fucking
It's like
great.
the only one you can read along with page for page.
Yeah.
That's the only...
They did a fantastic adaptation with
That's
that.
the only one of the only comic book movies where the creator has been there as a creative force the whole time. Like Frank Miller he cursed Hollywood because of RoboCop 2. RoboCop 2 and 3 was originally Frank Miller stories, and they butchered the shit out of them.
Yeah.
And then
they cursed him for releasing the spirit upon us. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking Marv, man.
That's the best. Sega's released tons of classic arcade game soundtracks on Spotify. So if you were into Outrun and Fantasy Zone and Golden Axe, they're all on there, and it's every version and revision, I should say, of the arcade games, as well as all the sequels. For instance, if you listen to the Golden Axe album, it's got like all the games on there. Even the Revenge of Death Adder, the sequel that was only in arcades, it's all on there. So if that's your tunage,
oh yeah,
there you go. It's available.
Groovy.
Hell yeah. I enjoy listening to some good chip tunes every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Francis Ford Coppola's announced that Apocalypse Now is
I've seen
a
this
video game, and it's on Kickstarter.
This is my only deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
I hope at least, and I don't literally mean this, but I hope at least 5 of the development team has heart attacks because this game goes so over budget and so just like
Just
Apocalypse
like the film.
Now.
Yeah.
Like,
Interesting.
there were people that were trying to kill themselves and having heart attacks. That movie went so over schedule and over budget. Like Martin Sheen even had a fucking heart attack. Like on set, they were pushing him so
There's
hard.
a really good documentary about the making of it and just
Gary
how much
Busey
of a shit show
Coke
it was.
in the bag.
Yeah, they're just pissed off too because Marlon Brando's all fat and bloated the whole movie. And he's like, I'm not about to get off this cult.
People almost dying because they're filming near an actual active war zone.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The cool
Crew
thing
members
about
getting
it,
bit by venomous snakes and
is-
dying and shit.
unlike the Platoon NES game and the various Rambo games out there, it's not going to be a mindless shooter. It's going to be a survival horror game. So it's not focused with you trying to kill other like Viet Cong. It's about you trying to survive out there in the war zone, in the hidden, tunnels underground and in the brush and foliage of the jungle.
That might actually be kind of fun.
It's supposed to really play on the horrors of war instead of like balls out action stuff.
That hasn't been done yet, really.
Right. I mean, there was that side scroller, This War of Mine, but you have no weapons and you're just trying to eat food.
Yeah.
And,
The only thing
keep
I
your
can
family alive.
think of similar to that would kind of be like Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. His camouflage and blending in to avoid danger is such a fucking huge aspect. I mean, that's a big aspect in all the Metal Gear games, but that one more so than the others because the camouflage system.
I only got 2 more pieces of news that are mega big, I should say. Where's it? Mutant League Football has come back, and they got the NBA Jam announcer in the game too. So
Nice.
That's going to be pretty awesome.
Nice.
It's looking good so far.
He's on fire.
The only other thing is I'm going to end my news part of the segment with this controversy has kind of exploded all over the place with the Circle of Life program at GameStop. Where
I've seen that.
oh man, they've just
You're lying to your fucking.
If they ask if you have the game in stock, tell them you don't, even though you do.
Because it turns out the factory
Fuckers.
sealed new games don't make them as much money as.
Oh no, they get like $5 off a sale.
It's $5 on launch day. If you buy a game at $60, they get $5 of it. So, but if it's previously
You buy a game
owned,
used though, they get the full fucking
get the
amount.
they get about
thing.
30, 40 depending on,
like I looked on GameStop the other day and or on their website, and I know it's kind of like underrated type of game, but I really like Mirror's Edge. So
that's a good game.
I was kind
Mirror's Edge is great.
I was kind of worried about the sequel, so instead of picking up the collector's edition, I was like, I'll just get the single one and I'll wait till it's cheaper. So I look online because it's been a while now, and GameStop.com has it factory sealed, physical disc, $19.99. But at the same time, the other option on this, the same game page is $59.99 digital. So, and a lot of games are like that.
Oh yeah.
But they don't want to. If you go in to GameStop, the reason this is all blown up is, oh no, we don't have any more copies of that. That game's been out a while. We won't have any more sealed copies of that. No one's traded it in lately, so how about a digital game? It's $59.99. So.
Well, we talked about all the GameStop bullshit a couple weeks ago too. Like when I went up there to pre-order my Switch, man. Mm-hmm. Like, I generally don't use GameStop a lot.
No,
they're kind of like a last ditch thing for me.
Yeah,
and I mean, we don't have Vault anymore, so I mean, as far as buying local, other than Walmart, you're pretty much completely fucked. But just to go in there and get the Switch pre-order, it's just it's not enough that you're in there fixing it. Like I pre-ordered the fucking Switch, Breath of the Wild, and Bomberman R. That's like $400 and fucking $60 right there. I've got to pay straight up, and I'm just like, it's not enough that I'm already giving you that much fucking money, but you want to sell me another warranty that stacks on top of the already warranty out of the box.
Disc replacement plans.
Yeah, disc replacement plans. Hey, do you like archaic formats? Here's a magazine subscription. You know, like
I went in there to get the.
I don't mind magazines, but I'm not going to buy one from there. No,
I went in there to get Yakuza
They still have bookstores.
Business Launch Day Edition. Then I wanted the disc replacement thing, and I was like, no, thank you. Then they handed me a stapled, multi-page list of all their pre-orders. Then they were like, oh, your GameStop card's out of date. Would you like to renew that? You'll get the GameStop, the Game Informer magazine subscription. I'm like, magazines in 2017, And I'm like, I know it's online. So I'm thinking, no, thank you for all that. And I was like, I was like, if I ever renewed it, it would just be for the points. But, the points just buy you barely any kind of collectible.
Yeah.
And then he mentioned to me, oh, no. Well, if it's expired, you still get your points. It's just to get, little discounts on there. And I'm like, well, I don't shop here very much, but I'm still getting my points, even though it's on my card to buy collectibles for free. With all my accumulated points, even though it's expired, like, then why the fuck would I ever renew it,
Yeah.
So
I'm just like, let me the fuck alone. Let me give you money. Jesus fucking Christ. I just want to go home and fucking masturbate and maybe play this game.
It's going to get to the point where they get so bad. You know how in like Sega CD cases back in the day, it had the little styrofoam square to keep your disc in there. Mm-hmm. They're going to be like, can we interest you in a styrofoam square for about $250 to keep that disc a little bit shinier for a little bit longer?
The guy I had was nice
replacement
about the
plan on that
pre-orders.
styrofoam disc.
But the thing I always hated about the pre-orders in GameStop when they're offered to you at purchase is the people that are really excited. I'm not being a hipster, but I'm not excited about AAA titles. I'm not really a Halo fan or Assassin's Creed fan or a Gears of War fan. I like, off-the-wall things like Yakuza 0 and Mirror's Edge as opposed to, Battlefield or something like that. It's just what I am. Maybe it's because I'm an old-school gamer. Maybe it's because I favor Quake as opposed to, the new Call of Duty and stuff. So whenever I get those pre-orders offered to me, I'm usually not interested. I don't think I've ever been interested in anything that's like a big hit that everybody's losing their minds over at the time. So a lot of the times, if I do get a douchey GameStop employee, they'll say, oh, the new this and this is out, Halo 5 Guardians or,
Madden 5000.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 15. And I'm like, I don't like Final Fantasy. And then they'll say something like, what? What's wrong with you? And I'm just like, fuck your mom, like.
I remember that one of the greatest moments I've ever seen in GameStop was I was there with our buddy Steve Staverson, and I think we were ordering the new Pokemon or something, and the guy behind the counter was like, I never played Pokemon, and acting douchey about it. Steve was like, you're a grown man working in the game store. You can't act like you're too cool for Pokemon.
Right.
Fucking bitch slapped him right down.
Sick burn.
I like that fucking air raid. Yeah.
Son, you need to call doctors. That burn was sick.
Oh shit! Bitch got told, bitch.
Yeah, I'm just that can be said about any time somebody wants to be douchey about video games. I'm like, are you trying to like Johnny Big Dick me over a video game? Like,
Yeah.
I have a pussy I get to lay next to every night. Where's yours?
Don't
worry, I'll wait.
The worst case I ever had in GameStop was I was going through their pre-owned PS2 games, and one of my favorite games of all time that went totally under the radar because Halo 3 launched at the same time back in the day, 06, I think, was Urban Chaos Riot Response. It's a fantastic first-person shooter. It's so sudden and goddamn violent, and it's all about riots in the city, but it's, first-person shooter, and whenever you do a really cool kill, it's slow-mos. Shot a dude on a roof who was trying to throw a Molotov cocktail on me, but he dropped it at his own feet, set his ass on fire, and fell 3 stories. It was just glorious. I love this game. So, for some reason, you get in that thing where you need money and you sell it, and so you hope you can find it again. Found it at GameStop, and it was like, $11. I brought it up to the counter, and dude's like, "You sure you want this?" And I was like, "Is it scratched?" And he's like, "No, it's just this game. Man, I played this the other day. It sucks." And I was like, "Well, obviously, I'm fucking interested in it, and yeah, I've played it before. I want it." And he goes, "Why, man? I don't know why you're wasting your time with that." I'm like, "Man, I didn't fucking ask your opinion." It's like, wow, the audacity of this asshole.
Look here, David. Yeah, eat a barrel of dicks. Just a cornucopia. Help thyself.
I was just like, you're not my friend. Why would you think you could say that to a stranger? You know?
I don't know why you're wasting time with that. That'd probably be like, that's probably what your dad told your mom when they were looking at you. Speaking of loafers, how's your dad?
It just didn't offend me. It just really confused me. I was like, well, why?
People
does this help your business? Don't you want to sell one more game to a customer?
People just love going out of their way to be complete fucktards to you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's a rage rant on its own for some other time. Brandon, what kind of news you got?
I got pretty much the only news here that mattered so far. So, Pillars of Eternity 2's now being crowdfunded on Fig.
That's true, yes.
On Fig?
Fig.
Yeah.
Fig it's like Kickstarter, except it actually has options to invest in the company. So if you actually want to own a piece of it rather than just give strangers money.
Do you get like money back off of it? Like royalties and shit?
Yeah.
I've actually done some royalties through Fig. I backed Psychonauts 2. And I didn't back this one as far as investment, but I wanted a copy of the game and some little goodies, and it was Jalen Silent Bob's Chronic Blunt Punch. It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up, old school style of of course, Jay and Silent Bob. And so Fig has gotten kind of popular lately. So yeah, they brought back one of the best with Pillars of Eternity here. So
yeah. It's at 2.1 million out of a 1.1 million goal, so it's been funded. It was funded like the first day. It's the first crowdfunded thing I've backed into, so it says a lot right there. Because the first one was amazing. I didn't back the first one because
I remember when you initially talked about Pillars of Eternity.
Yeah, for those who don't know, it's a classic like CRPG style game, much like Baldur's Gate or Icewind Dale.
Be sure to see previous episodes of Good Ole Gamers for more about this game.
Yeah. I've been playing the fuck out of it lately, so I'll talk about it some night. But it's $29 for the digital download. You can get a physical box for $59. I don't really do physical boxes anymore because it's never going to be worth shit. So I just got the $29 digital download because when it's going to be released, it's going to be like $50 like the first one. So you're getting a discount by backing it early.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
It's achieved a lot of the stretch goals. At 1.4 million, it got subclasses. So not only can you bake characters off one class, you can give them a second class and go back and forth between them. 1.6 million, they upped the level cap, so you can go from level 16 to 18. Plus, it got Russian localization. 1.8 million that they got added another companion and Polish localization. It's currently at the 2.0 million mark where it's got AI scripting and Spanish localization. The AI scripting, I'm really looking forward to that because that's one of the things in the games. It makes playing the game a lot easier if you can script your AIs to do play how you want. Like one of the things I like to do in the Pillars of Eternity is equip my guys with like a gun to open up an encounter with, so they'll fire off a round and then switch over to melee weapons and go in. So you got that, alpha strike at the beginning. Without the scripting, you got to micromanage all that shit, and it really wears down on the enjoyability of it. So the ability to tell them, hey, fire off a shot, and when they get in melee range, switch to a melee weapon, that makes it a lot easier. At 2.2 million, though, it's every quest NPC is going to get a portrait made for him. The portraits in these games always look good. They're really good hand-drawn, colored art, nice. and it'll get Italian localization. 2.4 million, they're going to have double the amount of voice acting, which I hope they get that goal, because the voice acting in the first one was fucking amazing. So I imagine the second one's going to be just as good.
Nice.
So anyone who's interested in that, I really recommend backing it. There's some insane donation tiers too. A lot of them been taken up, like $5,000 donation tiers, shit like that. You make your own end. Basically, you slap a name on it and kind of maybe make an NPC. One thing I saw that they're not doing with this game that they do to the first Pillars of Eternity, the Kickstarter allowed you on the first one, if you donated enough, you get to make a backer NPC, which is basically these goofy. They're all goofy fucking looking because everybody's got to have their own goofy character. But their NPCs littered the world that have like golden names on them, and you go up to them, and it gives you some shitty little like soul interaction. That's boring as fuck, and honestly, they subtract it from the game experience by just littering the world with these useless NPCs. They're not doing that this time, so that's good.
That's cool.
I don't mind people getting like their Kickstarter credits or whatever, but don't put it in front of my face throughout the whole fucking game.
I feel you.
But yeah, check it out if you like Baldur's Gate or anything like that. I have a feeling it's gonna be pretty damn good.
To make you genuinely excited about something to throw money toward it for a video game, I have usually pretty good faith in something like that. So cool. That's it for news. I guess we can just shoot the shit now.
Well, sure.
I don't even need this goddamn notebook anymore. Well, I'll just kick off with what I've been playing this week. I recently picked up a copy of Animal Crossing New Leaf, and I have been being a busy bee little mayor on this motherfucker.
I've never played that game.
Any Animal Crossing?
Any of them.
Me either.
A lot of people would, I think, find Animal Crossing very boring because it is very...
It reminds me of Harvest Moon meets Pokemon for some reason.
Kinda. It's like a weird blend of Harvest Moon with a little bit of The Sims with a little bit of interior decorator simulator.
So The Sims.
Yeah, pretty much. In Animal Crossing New Leaf, this is the one where you arrive to you name the town, of course, and all the Animal Crossings, the pretty much basis of the game starts out, you're on a train riding to a new town, and you pick the name of your town and all that jazz.
Vicksburg.
Yeah, well, the letters are very limited. I was going to name mine after my grandfather, name it Leonsville, but you can't fit fucking Ville after Leon. I'm like, well, goddamn.
What the fuck? What good is the naming function then?
Yeah.
So...
That's not that many letters.
No.
City A, City 1, Town 3.
I think 8 letters total. But anyways, in this one, New Leaf, you are actually the mayor. You arrive in the town, and pretty much in any Animal Crossing game, one of the first things you have to do is get a place to live, and the infamous Tom Nook is going to fuck you out of your bells, which is your currency, any way you can. He builds you a tent and then tells you when you get $10,000, 10,000 bells, come talk to me. So early on in the game, the only way to really make money is either by fishing or shaking fruit off of trees.
Exhilarating.
Or shaking trees, and either a coin or a beehive will pop out. And then if you proceed to drop a beehive, I've noticed, the bees will sting you in the face, and then you walk around and talk to all your citizens, and they all just say, God damn, your face looks fucking horrible. Some medicine and a shotgun would fix that, you know. You look like the
you
look like the goddamn elephant man, you know. Oh, you're hideous. Little Sally Mae just seen your face and she threw herself into the goddamn river. But
how hideous. Floyd Mayweather, Mickey Rourke, Courtney Love.
Like a combination of the three.
Oh,
it looked like something that they would have to have a fucking flamethrower in a science lab to get rid of. Like, we can't tell anyone about this.
Oh, you're doing that thing I saw on Pinterest where you smear your face with hamburger meat? Oh, that is your face. Fuck.
Shit. But
I can see that fucking being a thing on Pinterest. Fuck, I hate Pinterest. Smear raw hamburger meat all over your face. It'll extract all your toxins and give you
got an open wound.
Yeah.
Got an open wound in your body. Pack it with raw hamburger meat.
That's one social media network I could never get into. It's just no.
I think social media as a whole is making people dumber because they'll do shit like that.
Oh, it's like that. It's like that one where you see. Is your ice cream frozen too solid? Try microwaving your spoon for
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Or the iPhone update was glorious. Did y'all see that? It's like someone made a picture. It looked really legit, but the new iOS update allows you to instantly charge your phone in the microwave for 30 seconds, and people were fucking doing it.
Yeah. Let me take this time.
I seen a video the other day of a kid. There's a fucking pipe. And this principal in the school is like, I'm just showing the people what we work with. He threw a shirt up on a pipe and gives this kid a 10-foot ladder. And he's like, use the ladder to get that off the pipe. And this kid is literally standing in the goddamn hallway holding this ladder, trying to pick the ladder up and knock the shirt off the pipe.
Oh, my God.
Instead of just opening it and being like, oh, I got the shirt.
Oh.
Close the ladder and go on.
Summer's coming. Make sure you let all the antifreeze out of your car so don't so it runs what drive. Like, okay.
Oh God. Oh, running low on insulin? Try shooting up Crisco. It works the same. I might start that one. Just see how many people do it.
Oh, you'll have some blood on your hands, I'm sure.
I wouldn't want it on my hands. I don't want to risk getting stupid like them. You can catch that shit, I think.
Yeah, it's spreading apparently. So,
you can visit your friends' towns on Animal Crossing.
Nice.
If you have friends that play Animal Crossing.
If you play Animal Crossing, you ain't got friends.
Yeah.
Can't you destroy their stuff, though, if you come and visit their place?
I do not know, because I don't have any friends to go to their town to.
I know you could on the Wii version. If you visited someone's house, you could, like, chop down all their trees or something.
That's possible, because on this one, I downloaded... I bought it like 3 days ago or 4 days ago, and then I downloaded the update today, and it has a thing where you can make a dream town, where it's pretty much gives you unlimited, I think, like creation tools. Just make a town where if you were able to build a town, this is what it would look like. Maybe that's something you can destroy, because it gives you like a personal ID number for that dream town or whatever, and your friends can put that number, that seed number in, I guess, and go to it. So I don't know about that, but it's real basic. You find fossils and shit. It's like any other Animal Crossing so far, other than this one has way more internet-based shit being on 3DS. Like it kind of encourages you constantly to try to get other friends to play the game or go visit their towns and shit. It's got a couple there's an alternate currency other than bells I discovered today called meow coupons. And there's a
coupons.
There's a fucking campground unlocked where all these people camp in vans at a campground, and they're all wearing like that hippie fucking, you know those like jackets that are made out of like hemp that are like multicolored
like
with
those,
a little hood? They always smell real bad.
Yeah.
Like they look like something a fucking Indian would wear. You know, like these people, they're like, we got all these random goods. We'll trade from y'all coupons and shit. And I'm just like, you got any drugs? Because that's exactly. I'm like looking around the area. I'm like, if these people are going to sell something, it's drugs. Y'all got any drugs? And they're just like real vague about shit. And they tell you, they're like, don't sell your Mao coupons. That's all we all accept here. But you can take those coupons into town and get like fucking, I think it's like 1,000 bells per coupon. So I just been casting them motherfuckers in and paying my house loan to Tom Nook off. It's pretty much a video game about being fucking miserable in real life. Like, hey, you want to play a video game? In this game, you get a job. You grow old and miserable. You die.
Is your life shit? Are you missing mortgage payments? Maybe you can make them in this game.
It's kind of like The Sims, but it's like if they took Dark Souls and The Sims and mixed it together, they're like, you can't just click the refrigerator to make this motherfucker eat the sandwich. You actually have to give him the will to make a sandwich. And then he has to have the will to eat the sandwich. It is like tons of mini games to make you do mundane shit. You've got to get Bob to his chemotherapy at 6. You know, like, you've just been found out you've had diabetes. You better stop clicking the goddamn pantry so much. It's just like a game where you're just like, fuck. If you don't exercise, you're going to get heart disease in 23 on-day game or in-day fucking in-game days. God damn it.
Wish I had that kind of warning in real life. I'd just fuck off until I was like, oh, you're going to die tomorrow if you don't stop. I'm like, well, I guess I'll stop at 11:59.
If you keep snorting that cocaine, your heart's going to explode at 3:30 tomorrow. Like, so technically it's fine for me to keep rolling cocaine till 3:29 tomorrow. Yeah, I'm like, okay, good. I'm going to keep doing it. Oh, you got a little something there. Oh, it's okay. I'm going to keep doing it. No need to stop till the body does. Make the body drop, then I'll stop. I don't actually do cocaine, by the way. I know I've made a bunch of cocaine jokes. It's all because Ric Flair's fucking energy earlier.
Gary Busey, he did two weeks of cocaine.
Yeah. He used a garden hose to snort that shit with.
You ever see that son of a bitch on Celebrity Rehab or whatever? This was before he became one of those counselors, and I cannot believe they trusted him to be one of the counselors for all the other drugged up celebrities. But when he was visiting there to get rehab himself, they were watching them all unpack on the first episode, you know, because they just got there. And he opens his fucking suitcase on the bed. I shit you not, there's nothing in there but sticky notes, highlighters, and pennies. Just no clothes, no fucking socks or shoes, no toothpaste. He just looked like he had stolen a bunch of merchandise from the local Office Max, you know.
He just like went and bought a fucking suitcase at the thrift store, and that's just the shit that was in it when he bought it.
Gary Busey keeps his life organized.
If he don't get it organized, his wife will do it for him. If the bitch knows what's good for her.
And just put me out of my fucking miserable existence. Beat me to death.
Yeah.
I'm married to Gary Busey. It don't get any worse.
Every time I close my eyes and think about Gary Busey, I just think about that fucking crazy mugshot he had where his hair is all just like stand straight up. He's got like half gritted. I just imagine he's like, boy, I just fucked a bunch of prostitutes and murdered a man down in Reno right before I took this picture. They don't even know about it.
He somehow managed to one-up Nick Nolte's crazy mugshot.
When he was doing those Amazon Fire Stick commercials, I was expecting him to have like trouble plugging it in and start like punching the TV and ripping it off the wall. God damn it, you don't do this, Gary Busey.
Gary does the abusing around here. The fucking abuser's not turning into the fucking abusee. The Gary abusee. Oh, nothing but high quality jokes around here.
Yeah.
I would like them to make another direct-to-DVD shitty Starship Troopers movie, but instead of returning Jake Busey's character. They just have like a new drill sergeant who's also, you know, real tough on the recruits and hyper and crazy. But it's Gary Busey playing like an older Jake Busey. He's just like lost his goddamn mind.
Think he just randomly
bug action?
He'd just fucking scream at somebody and break a goddamn violin out and start playing for no reason. Get the fuck down!
Just blow someone's limbs off. Just put them in that fucking tank. They'll grow back.
If you get lonely out there on the battlefield, just take a bug carcass and make it give you a blowjob.
Hey, y'all got one in fucking bantha tanks? Work for Vader. Work for my ass. Fucking.
Have you snorted a can of Raid? Them bugs won't eat you.
He just uses Raid like fucking Banaka.
I can just see him seriously, like, giving that brain bug the business, like, right in its vagina mouth. I get lost and lonely out here on the outpost. We got these good old brain bugs to keep us company at night.
Oh. That big thing that comes out of its head and sucks your brains out. It's actually just like fucking him in the butt.
Reach around bug.
Automatic reach around. These good old bugs are good for something. Damn.
We've discovered a new form of bug on the planet Clendathu. It's a reach around bug. So one of those fucking Starship Troopers like raise his hand. Like, yes, Commander, should we be killing these bugs? Or should we be employing them? That's a good goddamn idea there, Commander Grant.
We are killing these bugs. Gary Busey don't fuck nothing until it's dead.
That's the best time to fuck something, isn't it?
Sure is. So, all right, so what I've been playing, Pillars of Eternity, for obvious reasons. I've been on that fucking hype train. Fanboying the fuck out of it. And I don't want to tell you a whole lot about it because we did a whole episode on it way back in the day, but it's still out there.
Go back and see previous Good Ole Gamers episodes.
It's just the voice acting and the characters on the game, especially that character Durance, who was he was a priest for the god Magron, and he was like hyper devoted to her until he was part of this scheme to kill a god, where he was one of the, I think 12 priests to put together this bomb called the God Hammer, and the God Hammer pretty much incinerated this god, the avatar of this god.
Hammered the fuck out of him, did it?
Yeah, he's thought about you don't just kill the man, you fucking burn him to ashes, and it blows away the soul. and both him and like all the other priests who were there, they received like I guess shrapnel damage from it on a soul level. Like half of his soul is gone.
He only looks like half of Sarah Connor on the fence on fire.
But after doing all that shit for his god, she just kind of just left him the fuck alone. And he's talking about how she's just a whore who used them and stuff, even though he's still worshiping her.
That's usually how it goes, buddy. Can't turn a hoe into a housewife, man. You can try.
It's great though. Just the way he still worships her and just talks so much shit about her at the same time. It's I don't know. I've never seen a character like that in a game. It's fucking great. There's a lot of really great characters. My only complaint about that game, besides the backer NPCs, is one of the races. I think it's called the Alma. They look like the fucking Na'vi or whatever from Avatar. This big blue goofy ass people. I fucking hate them. I wish they would have left them out of that game. It just pissed me off looking at them.
Would you build a wall to keep them away from you?
I fucking would.
You'd make them pay for it.
I might have to re-roll as Donald Trump and make a wall to keep out the Almas. Because fuck them people. Big blue bastards.
You just caused so many protests by saying that.
I don't give a fuck.
Blue
That's
people
cool.
are
They don't
people,
even
too.
know what the fuck they're protesting for.
Another complaint I'd say I had was
Skeeter was a person. You remember Skeeter?
Yeah, from Muppet Babies.
No, from
Doug
well,
Skeeter?
he was from Muppet Babies. Well, I'm talking about
Doug?
Doug. Hey, Doug.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Hey, Doug. Hong Kong. Don't fucking. Why did Skeeter halt? Like,
I
one of
don't.
the great questions we'll never know the answer to. I guess. I'm sorry. You just offended me with your anti-blue people statement. You don't like fucking blue man group?
Green people's where it's at. Fucking Roger.
Yep.
Roger whooped that ass.
Roger
What the fuck did Skater do? Skater probably hung himself in his mom's closet. No one likes Skater, Hong Kong. You're all gonna miss me when I'm gone, Hong Kong. Should have loved me while I was here in Hong Kong.
I wonder where they're all now. You know,
Patty
she's doing where
Mayonnaise
they're
is
now.
just like...
She's a porn star.
Yeah.
No, Patty Mayonnaise is in prison. Orange is the New Black.
Oh, shit.
Patty Mayonnaise did something wrong.
She getting filled up with that mayonnaise.
Oh,
Fuck. That turned my stomach a little bit. Drink some more beer.
But yeah,
There was even a hair in it.
another complaint I had about it though is they've updated the game a shitload, which normally a huge problem, but every time it's balance patches, it's up to version 3 point something now. So it's gone from version 0.x to 3 point something, which is a lot of fucking versions. So it means if you ever want to look up like any certain mechanic in the game, you're probably going to come across mostly outdated information. And I'm just like, it was fine at release. Just leave it the fuck alone. It's not perfect. An interesting game does not have perfect balance. I've played games with perfect balance. They're fucking boring. It's called Dungeons and Dragons 4, 4th edition. That version of Dungeons and Dragons sucked because every class was the fucking same. They all have the exact same mechanics. And I'm like, yeah, it's balanced. Congratulations.
There's not enough differences to constitute why you would pick a different character.
Yeah. It's fine that some characters are less powerful. Maybe I want to try a run through with a less powerful character because it's more interesting, Well,
fucking thief's not going to be near as strong as a goddamn warrior or a fucking...
Yeah, he's got his own niche where he's better at stuff, but...
The thief's not going to have fucking magic on par with the wizard,
Yeah. But despite that, it's a great game. I've been playing that crap load here lately in my spare time. Another one I've been playing a lot since I forgot to bring it. We'll do a review next time. I got the 8BitDo Zero controller, the Bluetooth controller.
Oh, yeah.
And it's fucking great.
That's the one you want me to Mario speedrun with, isn't it?
Yeah, it's small enough to fit on a keychain. It's about 3.5 inches long, about 1.5 inches wide, I think. Really small, but it still feels really good. I've been playing some Final Fantasy VII. I get more hooked on Pokemon Fire Red though. It's because it translates better to a phone game because it's made to be mobile. Because you can save it anywhere and that kind of stuff. Final Fantasy VII. If I'm at a save point and I got to do something, well, better hope my phone don't decide to reset the game on me.
Yeah.
So Pokemon Fire Red, I've been playing the shit out of that, and I'm not going to go in huge detail. Everyone knows what Pokemon is. I'm going to use this more or less as a platform to bitch about new Pokemon games versus the old ones. I think one of the main reasons why the old ones are so much better than the new ones is the new ones have too much fucking shit in them. Every time they release a Pokemon game, they look at the design vertically instead of horizontally. Instead of saying, hey, what else can we do? They say, what more can we add to it? And now it's just such a convoluted fuck piece of a game that I can't enjoy them. And
wild microwave Dave has appeared.
Yeah.
Like it's a fucking microwave that's got eyeballs.
Just from the mechanics aspect, they got the fucking fashion shows. They got the mega evolutions. They got the internal values.
See, this
and
is
the
how
effort values.
Not far beyond, but far away, I guess, from Pokemon I am. I haven't played fucking Pokemon since Silver and Gold. And I've barely fucking played Silver. I played Red and Blue hard as shit. Had me and you using each other's copies. We had all 150 Pokemon back in the day. The Mega Evolutions, the fashion shit. That shit is fucking like Greek letters to me because I don't know anything about the new Pokemons at all. They lost me.
All the new Pokemons are 3D graphics, which I'm not a fan of.
I've seen that.
It looks it looks shitty. The old 2D art was fucking amazing. Even though it had less animations, that's fucking fine. Just how convoluted it is. If you want to get into the nitty gritty of the new shit, you really have to go out of your fucking way. And it's the reason why pretty much anybody who plays the game for the game for the combat, they hacked the game because the shit you have to go through to get competitive level
to the combat.
Yeah, to get to competitive level Pokemon, the amount of breeding and all kinds of this fuckery, you know, training off. I've got to fight 5,000 fucking Zubats to increase my effort values and speed by 1 for every 4 or 5 Zubats I fucking kill, even though it's a hidden fucking stat. Why the fuck are there hidden stats in Pokemon? It's supposed to be a kid's game. It pisses me off how convoluted it is. And then I think they fucked themselves into a corner on it by looking at the development vertically instead of horizontally, because they think, oh, it's a new Pokemon, we're gonna have all new shit and while retaining all the old features. Whereas I think what they should have done is said, hey, we did Pokemon in this world, how about we do a whole nother world that's, you know, totally different shit. Yeah, a whole new 151 Pokemon where the other ones don't exist. They got their own shit. You can add new mechanics to there while not retaining the old ones, but still having the core fucking gameplay there. And that would make every fucking Pokemon game pretty interesting.
Well, they're fine whoring Pokemon out in every other way imaginable.
Yeah.
I mean, why not just make a solid... Pokemon would not exist if it had not been for the original fucking red, blue, and yellow and shit.
Yeah.
You know, so why not, like, make something... I don't know how to explain what I'm saying, but I see what you're saying. Like, instead of fucking just... being like, let's just throw a bunch of new shit into this world. We're not actually fucking creating a new gameplay experience. You're kind of doing the same shit you've always done.
Since I'm a fat boy and I like food, I'm going to use a food analogy. It should be like you're cooking.
I can relate.
You're cooking breakfast. All right, you cook some pancakes for somebody, and they're like, "Oh, this is the best fucking pancakes I had. I want to buy some more." Okay, all right, we'll do some more pancakes. Throw some more pancakes on there. And because of the success of that, you just keep throwing pancakes on top and on top till you got 20,000 fucking piles of pancakes. When you could have just put some goddamn eggs and bacon on the side.
Yeah.
I want, you know, something a little different there. That's how Pokemon has been developed, and the designs of the new Pokemon. I mean, I know the 151's not perfect. There's some shitty fucking looking Pokemon in there. Jinx was Mr. Mime.
Yeah.
Porygon, Mew. I fucking hate Mew. Mewtwo's badass, but Mew's fucking lame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
little bitch waffle.
But now, like. I get why the designs are getting so stupid now, because what the fuck can you do? You've got nearly 1,000 Pokemon now. You've done everything. I mean, there's a goddamn keyring Pokemon, and I get it. Ugh. Some guy had a deadline, and he's sitting at the office at 6 p.m. and he's like, "Fuck, I want to go home, be with my wife and kids, but I got to meet this deadline." He looks down at his desk, sees his keyring there, and he's like, fuck it, that's a Pokemon.
Eureka.
But that's if they were to just, you know, branch out instead of building on top, they would have their options open still. You know, they could go totally alien worlds of new Pokemon instead of having to have goddamn letters and a fucking lawnmower and key rings and shit.
Got those fucking, letters.
Do you know how much hell it would be to live in the world of Pokemon where everything is a living, sentient being? You can't mow your grass without a fucking annihilating Pokemon.
How else do you do your grass?
It's like a goddamn Disney cartoon where everything has a set of eyes and a mouth and they're happy.
Yeah.
It's awful.
I'm just sitting here imagining all these things in my head that would be like the least friendly cartoon, like a condom or a murder weapon.
Yeah, there's a condom Pokemon now. I'm sure
there's
that's
like
coming.
a fucking mop from Fantasia smiling and dancing around that's like mopping up the blood of a suicide victim. I like it.
I know what you mean about games getting real bogged down with extra bullshit. When I want to say for like a whole decade after MK4, Mortal Kombat fans dealt with that bullshit with Deadly Alliance Deception and Armageddon, because they kept adding like Mortal Kombat chest, and then they added like motor combat, which was like Mario Kart, where you could die in like death traps, like the background fatalities.
This is not
you know?
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, it was just they kept adding like all this like bonus crap, and they had the little adventure game where you could be like Shijinko and just like talk with people in the Mortal Kombat universe, like it was some kind of MMO or something.
I want to know where some sailors are at.
And I was just, I didn't think they'd ever come back to their glory days, and luckily the reboots worked for them, and the most violent Mortal Kombat with MKX, so it panned out. But I mean, we were fucked for an entire decade.
Yeah.
So
if
it felt like you were at a buffet and you were being overstuffed, especially with Armageddon when they jammed every character into the game and a creative fighter system. And I was just like, it's too much. You're giving me more than I asked for, and you're giving me nothing that I asked for at the same time. So I could imagine what Pokemon fans are suffering through because, like you, Lyle, I haven't gone beyond Gold and Silver. Crystal came out for Game Boy Color, and I was like, I'm out. Like,
I recently got my grandpa's Pokemon copies, and I'm thinking about trying them, but Sapphire and Soul Silver. Don't know jack shit about either one of those games.
From what I've been playing, since I've been playing this shit on my phone, I think the Game Boy Advance era was like the best Pokemon.
No, Fire Red is a remake of Pokemon Red, much. Right? Mm-hmm.
And it seems like the GBA era was the best era for Pokemon because they got a little more advanced. The graphics were better than on the regular
graphics
Game
a little
Boy.
more actual like cartoony looking.
Yeah, and that was fine. And they didn't get too fucky with all the mechanics. They didn't add too much shit to it. They were great. If they came out and said, "Hey, we're going to do a whole new Pokemon series separate from all this 1,000 goddamn Pokemon in a totally different world, starting fresh," I'd be on board for that. Because there's too much goddamn shit with the new ones.
I really, I kind of think Pokemon would do, like, how everybody's always kind of wanted, like, the grown-up Zelda and all that. If they were to make, like, a huge world, not like, dark and violent, not do, like, the fucking gritty reboot thing, but just make, like, a fucking, not a handheld Pokemon, like a fucking actual big console version that would take you 140 fucking hours to complete. Like that would be a fucking killer seller. There's no fucking way, because that would be the first of its kind. And I'm just like, why didn't they? They're all like wanting to cater to older gamers and shit out of left field with Switch now. Why don't they fucking do something like that, man? Like,
dude, I've wanted all my life for a Pokemon MMO. The game is set up perfectly for an MMO. You run around and you fight people. And with live people, it becomes way better than the boring ass trainers that
you have an online community. Like the boring ass trainers would be an actual motherfucking person.
Yeah,
like it would give you more of the feeling of actually being like a Pokemon trainer.
Yeah, you go to fucking Mount Moon, you see some other guys there. I'm like, oh, y'all looking for some Geodudes? I am too. Let's fucking find them, man.
It could be amazing if done correctly, but Nintendo's just so fucking. It's weird because they've gotten, in their later years, they're more ass backwards now about shit.
I think they've kind of grown out of touch. With the people who like them.
They kind of cater a little much to the. I understand that they still want to do the family aspect thing, but at the same time, you got to look at the crowd that made you initially that popular. They're all fucking grown now,
and you also got to look at the current climate. Like, I thought that I was. I know I've never been like really, I guess you could say, liberal with the games I let my stepson play, or my daughter for that matter. I mean, I'm not hyper censoring, but
but you don't want your fucking like 8 and 10-year-old kids to be playing a game where you're like purposely selling dope and fucking killing cops and
Grand
shit.
Theft Auto. But what I'm saying is, I don't let my kids play that shit at their age. All their fucking friends do. At their age, and that's kind of the society we're in. Where the 100% family friendly console is niche, because and to a degree, I don't want the 100% family friendly. I want to be able to. I can decide what my kids play. I don't need them to decide what my kids are going to play. So give me the options.
So that's one thing where Nintendo's been fucking up. You know, they just haven't done that. There were so many potentials on Wii U for shit to have come out. And, Nintendo's just always famously shit, though, on the third party.
Yeah.
And, like, that's one thing I think, you want to get off on topic about the Switch and shit. That's one thing Nintendo for fucking sure is going to have to change is their approach to third-party
They better.
publishers. If you don't have third-party publishers on the fucking Switch, that thing ain't going to stick around for long. They're like wanting this thing to sell as many as the fucking Wii, and I'm just like, ain't going to happen. Not with that. I'm like, y'all,
so far.
motherfuckers ain't even launched. And I say all this because, I'm buying one. I'm gonna fork the money down on it. So I feel like I'm entitled to cast my worries about it. The fucking thing ain't even out yet, and they're already wanting to throw shovelware and shit on it.
Hey, it's got World of Goo.
Whoop-de-fucking-do. Jason, what year did that come out in? Like
2008.
Yeah.
And it was even on the BlackBerry.
Yeah.
The fucking BlackBerry. Yeah. What a marvel of technology that is today. Yeah. You got a QWERTY keyboard. Fuck my ass.
I believe it was also on the original DS, if I remember correctly. So.
And I will say World of Goo is a great game, but
it's even like people that be like, Skyrim's coming out for it.
Who cares?
Fucking Skyrim's 5 years old, man.
I bought a pair of boots with Skyrim loaded on them. Fucking everything.
Yeah,
has
no
it.
shit.
Look, I'm a Street Fighter fanboy, and it is neat that they are bringing back Violent Ken and Evil Ryu, and that they're even doing tag team stuff. So if you're fighting Bison, you can have Ken and Ryu, attacking at the same time with some tag team stuff going on. But
is Capcom going to make you pay $30 fucking for the 85th version of Street Fighter 2?
Who knows? I mean, did we really need another Street Fighter 2 edition? Yeah, they added some new stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool that you can tag team, but like, that's not something that's going to sell the Switch.
No.
That's not, a brand new Zelda game with, worlds that you've never seen. It's not Mario in, I'm sorry, what is it? What is the new Mario
called?
Odyssey. Odyssey, where, you're hopping into different places that you've never seen before. Like one that mirrors New York with a new Donk City.
Donk City.
God damn.
That's a worst fucking name.
Yeah, I don't want to know what it is to donk somebody, but I can imagine. But yeah,
suck my donk.
It's different, and it's going to cater to the mechanics of the system in some way because it's a Nintendo game. But they always try and play off the hardware's abilities. The Street Fighter's not going to do that.
No.
Street Fighter.
Well, one of the things they're doing, too, I've noticed, and I'm not saying this negative, if you're listening, forgive me, but my friend Nathan Earl, dude, he's one of my best friends. He's got the Switch and shit pre-ordered, and he tends, like, I ain't going to say he fanboys out, but he'll see, like, a new article, and he'll be like, oh, man, like, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is coming out, and I'm just like, he's so excited, and I'm just sitting here. I'm like, dude, I can't get fucking excited about this. I'm like, they're doing the same, and
the only reason to buy that is they fix the battle mode. It's going to have arenas.
It's not even.
Oh, that's great.
That is great.
Yeah, that is cool.
They haven't had. There's a bit of good battle mode since '64.
They've all had battle modes though. That was the only thing wrong with Mario Kart 8. It literally could have been the perfect Mario Kart.
Well, if it's not Mario Kart 8 though, it's like all these other remasters of current games I got coming out.
Yeah,
fucking PlayStation and Xbox and shit on PC too. They're all just as bad about like. It's just as big of a business now to release a fucking remaster of a game as it is to come out with a brand new game.
I was just at Walmart and they had the original Xbox 360 game of Dead Rising on PS4 and Xbox One now. The first Dead Rising. Like, why?
I mean, I understand if you want to play that game later on, but like, you didn't see them fucking releasing goddamn Super Mario 3. Oh, I better shut up. Yeah, you did. Super Mario All-Stars. How about fuck myself? They've done that like Mario All-Stars was on Wii and Super Nintendo. Mm-hmm. Well, that's the one example. You didn't see them other than Virtual Console. You didn't see them releasing like physical fucking copies of NES games on SNES and shit, and that shit drives me fucking crazy. I do not want to buy new hardware to play old fucking games with.
Yeah.
You touched on a nerve there, something I meant to bitch about tonight. Something I told you earlier.
Oh, okay.
You know, we're in Coleman. It's a small town. There's not many places for you to go and find video games in the wild. Most, you know, there's really one thrift store in Coleman City proper, the Foundry. I went there today, looked at where all the games usually are, nothing there. I looked in this little shitty ass section where they got like
they've hold a little place off in the back of the thrift store
they
now.
hold this place off in the back of the thrift store now with this assholes sitting behind there with all the games behind the counter. Instead of charging thrift store prices, everything's top goddamn dollar now, like more expensive than a video game store.
It don't matter.
Well,
they
I used
say
to pick up cheap games there.
I picked up one like just fucking week before last. I found Wheel of Fortune in box on the N64.
That's
49 cents.
What?
I mean, yeah, it's not a top pick, but still, it's a good fucking find.
I don't give a fuck if it's a sports game. I'll pay 49 cents for a box game all goddamn day long.
Oh, yeah.
And now I went in there, I saw in the case Super Mario Brothers 3 on NES.
$100,000.
And it had an Atari game on top of it. It was some shitty, sports game on Atari. I had a bad feeling in my gut because that said $8 on the Atari game.
8?
Yep. And then I finally found the guy to talk to. I was like, hey, I want to look at that Super Mario Brothers 3. How much is that? He's like, oh, it's $20. I'm like, these things are like $6 to $10 on eBay loose all fucking day. It's like the most selling game on this goddamn system.
Literally.
They're everywhere. I could probably shake a pair of pants in the store and find 2 copies of it somewhere.
Well, it's like the thrift store down the road from my house here. It's like a fucking church-run thrift store, of course. Because the Lord doesn't have enough money as is. Yeah. They're like, I go in there and they've got a boxed NES Classic, just like mine.
Cool.
And I start looking at it and I'm like, well, this is kind of cool. I'm thinking I'm like maybe 30, 40 bucks, maybe even 50 if it's got all the manuals and shit in it. Because even at $50, I could quick flip it, even for $75. $175 fucking dollars. And she's like,
I thought you were gonna say 90. $175.
She was like, oh, and it's got the original games in it. And open it up, and I shit you not, Mario and Duck Hunt has been replaced with a copy of 10-Yard Fight. And I'm like, fuck
original my ass.
Yeah. And like, she's like, we may could do 125 on it. And I'm just, and the box is kind of beat up. And I'm just like,
yeah,
I can't do that. I'm like, and all these people, I just want to fucking shake the shit out of them and be like, God damn it, just because it's a video game does not mean it is worth money. All these fucking stupid ass goddamn clickbait bullshit
That's what I was going to say.
all
these
fucking
articles
time is leading you to believe that you're holding a piece of gold and you ain't holding shit.
Just search sold listings on eBay. That gives you a really good idea of what it goes for.
I know people say, not to use eBay prices, but those sold listings.
The sold listings.
Everybody knows. I mean, everybody knows that's a pretty good base.
That's what the shit's going for, man.
Yeah.
Can I buy one of them?
Yeah, totally.
It just pisses me off that the last places where I could easily find a wild game is gone. Like that thrift store is dead to me. I'm not going back there for anything. So
I won't do business. That sucks. I got a pristine loose copy of one of my favorite Super Nintendo games, Cybernator, from there. I got it for like $7. So whenever I'm in town, I try and go through the Foundry to see if they got something. But if they're going to do that, then I'm done with them.
I've got a lot of original Xbox games from there for like $2 each.
Cool. I've bought quite a slew of PS1 games from there. They put the PS1 games in the fucking. That's one thing you could still find. I've noticed they usually put PS1 shit like in music CDs.
Well, see, the guy who's running that went through that. He's looking for him. He knows. I guess he knows about games at least enough to try to overprice them.
Don't the Foundry hire like all addicts?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yes. Man,
I don't have a problem if you're a recovered drug addict. I don't care.
But that's great. What I'm saying though is, if I want to pay these prices for games, I'll go to a game store and I'll support my local game businesses instead of you fucking crackheads who I know are going to be back on crack.
Mm-hmm. Relapse rate's 3 to 1, motherfucker. I'm not stupid. I can spot a junkie when I see one. And you motherfucker, you're praising Jesus now. 3 weeks back on smack. smack dab.
That's kind of a danger to sell games there since they're high dollar, so to speak, that, you think they'd want some quick money. And
they don't test them there. They don't fucking test them there.
No.
Well, to be rightfully honest, though, if you want to get technical with it, the Foundry is one of the more expensive thrift stores overall I've ever been to begin with.
Especially the furniture is ridiculous. You see some old busted ass Walmart desks in there for like $50. I'm like, I could buy it brand new at Walmart for $20.
Dude, I literally went up there one time and seen fucking an issue of Incredible Hulk number like 12 or 13. One of the original top, first 20 Incredible Hulks. Cover, dude, it was like thrashed. The cover had chunks missing off the corner. It looked like it had been wet. The fucking pages were tore.
Someone jacked off in it.
I still know that comic's worth, that comic's easily worth, like, in pristine condition, probably like $1,000 or more, because it's one, it's the original Hulk series. The motherfuckers wanted $150 for that issue. And I argued with the guy. I was like, man, I'm like, being that thrashed, it's not worth that at all. No. I'm like, you got fucking, the only comic book that may be worth that much kind of money is you got like an original Superman or something.
Yeah,
and
Action comic.
It's going to be like, a thrashed copy of that probably even still fetch $500,000 easy. I'm like, you're not holding some shit like that.
No.
Which, I mean, $150 ain't nowhere near like that price, but I'm just like, nobody's going to fucking pay you that much money for a goddamn tattered copy that some hobos wiped his fucking ass with.
Yeah, when I was looking there, I also noticed they had some decent PS2 games. They had a few copies of GTA 3, and there was a Prince of Persia, and a couple of decent titles. But once I saw $20 for Mario 3, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm out.
You don't even you cringe at even wondering what the fucking price of the PlayStation 2 shit
I was
is.
so disgusted that the last place for me to locally find stuff in the wild was gone.
And you know that's definitely not worth the price because you can find that complete in box in good condition for affordable prices too.
Yeah.
So yeah, loose copy $20 is definitely a hell no.
No, it's roughly double of what it's really worth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, I got a copy like that too, man.
$6 motherfucking dollars.
I paid 12 something for mine at Video Games More, but it looked like people just took the cellophane off of it. But it's Mario 3.
Yeah.
So
it's a great game to have. It's just it's not a fucking $20 game.
No, because it is a great game. It's sold so fucking much.
Yeah.
That it's everywhere.
Not 100% on this, but I'm pretty sure Super Mario 3 is the best selling NES game out of them all. I think
so. Yeah.
So
like I said, I mean, it's everywhere.
People are catching on, man, and like I don't mind new people coming into the hobby at all, but like going back to Nathan Earl, he follows the Facebook groups.
Oh yeah.
And it's a lot of it's funny because he follows it because that shit is real dramatic. Like the whole, what's the big one? The game wheel.
Yeah.
Tesker vent or whatever.
Is that the guy that had the raffle?
Quack Fam, yeah. Mm-hmm. He did the fucking game raffle and fucked everybody. Mm-hmm. Well, like, he follows that shit and they even get on there, man. And like, there's people in there like openly bragging. They're like, I haven't played a game since '85, but man, I just went through and this yard sale and bought like these 15 NESs and Super Nintendos, $100 a bundle. And then like, I just seen an argument that they're not kind of like going back to the whole people justifying hoarding multiple copies and shit. Yeah, all that shit goes hand in hand. Like people pricing Mario at $20 fucking dollars. People holding 15 fucking copies of goddamn Earthbound for no fucking reason.
Tired
that shit all goes hand in hand. They're a fucking cancer to the fucking hobby of retro games. They're a necessary evil to a degree.
Yeah,
but they help you out in times, but the majority of the time they fucking kill it for everything else.
There's no reason to sit on, like when you go to
game
conventions and stuff. I'm even mad at like Little Samson being still expensive because it's always at every game convention and there's always multiple copies. Earthbound is like that as well.
Earthbound's
you can always find plenty of
game.
copies on eBay. Even that keeps going up in price, especially complete in box copies. Like almost 10 years ago it was 500 and now it's like 800. Not shit, On my best day, maybe I would open my wallet for $5. I'm never doing $8. That's retarded.
My rule of thumb is I won't ever pay more than $100 for a game. I'm sorry. I love games. I love Earthbound. Favorite fucking game. I won't pay its price. No game's worth more than that to me.
You know, if you're getting into the hobby, that is probably the best rule you can have. Because you are going to have to open your wallet for some games, especially if you really want to retread one that gave you hours of nostalgia. But
if there was no
way,
you're
new and you don't have extra no, never 100.
If there was no way to emulate them, I would probably do that. But I can emulate them. I can buy knockoffs that play exactly the fucking same. So
the only thing I would pay high dollar for, you're right, is things that you can't emulate properly. So any of those early 3D games, anything Saturn or
3DO.
N64, a 3DO, maybe.
If there's 3DO games worth getting.
It's not even really worth having that console in your house because it's problematic in running. So
yeah,
I got one, so I can vouch. I mean, mine runs fine, but it's I don't think there's anything I'd pay more than $10 for on 3DO.
Yeah,
maybe plumbers don't wear ties or something.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Blonde Justice.
Oh, now I would. Well, that's a whole different kind of payment for that game.
Yeah, pay that game in ones.
Yeah.
You know,
you gotta smell like beer and cigarettes before you can even turn the game on.
I've always considered
it.
Plumbers Don't Wear Ties to be like the worst game I've ever seen. But recently, there's been a thing happening on the PlayStation Store for the PS4, and usually good games come out of it. And I just bought a game this week on the PlayStation Store that I've been playing the shit out of for what I've been playing for my game of the week. But all of a sudden, there's been some crap hitting the stores, and there's one that's famously talked about on YouTube right now that's like this really piss poor, 3D RPG, and you get to create your own character. But I think there's one worse than that, and it's called Joe's Diner. And I think that's worse than Plumbers Don't Have Ties, or Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. You're in this diner that's built on an ancient Indian burial ground, and I guess in a way, like Five Nights at Freddy's, you have to micromanage some stuff. Really, you just have to clear the tables in the diner of dishes that we're eating off of and stuff. There's no patrons in there, so I don't know where all this food keeps coming from. But if you clear it and you don't make too much noise, you complete your shift and you go on to your next shift. I guess you're pulling a double or something. But boy,
that sounds enjoyable.
Oh, it's so goddamn boring, and there's nothing even creepy, no music or anything like that. But if you make too much noise with the cash register, the doors, dropping dishes or something like that, then this ancient ghost shaman of this Native American is going to pop out and get you, right? So
Legends of the Hidden fucking Temple in the Diner.
So I'm watching IGN play this because there's no fucking way I'm going to buy it, because the trailer and the screenshots show fucking nothing but the graphics, the backgrounds of the game and everything. And, it's already got 3 stars, and that's not good for all the people that vote on PlayStation Network. And so IGN's like, all right, fuck it, this game's really boring. Let's just at least get the payoff and see what it's like to get killed. So they start rattling shit on all that. And all of a sudden, blah, the Native American guy comes up on screen. And you're like, oh my God, is he going to look like a zombified tribesman or something, chieftain or whatever you call it?
He's going to cry about these cans on the ground.
Just shows up and starts shedding tears and looks at the camera.
There's ketchup all over the tables. No, it's seriously just an image like you would see on a T-shirt of a Native American that just flashes on the screen. Like, he doesn't look sinister at all. It just looks like something that would be emblazoned on the side of a Zippo. It's just
oh man,
it's just a picture simply of a Native American, and that's it. It says game over. It doesn't show your corpse or nothing. He doesn't do anything to you. It's just a picture that appears on screen. Yeah.
Can we take a piss break?
Yes. Oh. Okay, we're back recording. We're back from a piss break, and we had a small heated movie discussion while we were away.
We got off on a tangent.
It's okay.
Started talking about It Follows and some other shit.
Which apparently I need to watch.
Yeah,
Talk
I recommend
about
it.
great horror films like that somehow devolved in the stupidity of Freddy Got Fingered.
Freddy Got Fingered, though. What a classic movie
Yeah.
of American cinema.
It's a real American treasure.
I love the PG rated version of Freddy Got Fingered. Did you ever see that on the
No,
DVD?
that sounds awful.
On the DVD, there's a PG rated version. It's literally it's a minute and 30 seconds long, and it's nothing but like Tom Green just like singing, he's doing the backwards man thing, and
Yeah.
then just a few other things, and that's it. And that's the literal like fucking crowd rated PG or
I didn't
fucking
know they had that on the DVD. That's
MPAA PG rated version.
That's great.
But anywho,
What else we got to talk about?
the game that I was playing during the week. I actually had two, like Brennan. I divided my time between Yakuza 0 and Double Dragon 4. I played on a lot more Double Dragon 4, though.
How is DD4?
Everybody was, kind of scared about it because it was just like NES graphics again.
is friendly fire still a thing?
It's an option, yeah. You can be, one player, two player, or two
I
player
actually
with friendly
enjoyed
fire.
friendly fire because I liked actually having the realism of it.
That back on the NES, that was one of the few ways you could fight each other in a game like that. There was no fighting games.
Yeah. It was
They just beat the fuck out of each other in Double Dragon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
The best thing about Double Dragon forever, though, will be that girl just getting fucking punched in
Yeah.
the stomach at the beginning of that game.
It looks like she gets punched in the cunt, like, especially on Double Dragon Neon.
$100.
Yeah, Neon, yeah.
$100 says that girl was marching in Washington the other day.
Yeah,
She's like, I'm not standing for this shit anymore.
I'm sure Anita Secretion
Where's
was
goddamn RoboCop outside of Delta fucking City when they...
using that as an example of violence on women. Well,
Sorry.
The other thing they brought back is two-player fighting, like the NES version of the first one. But the cool thing about it is throughout the campaign, everybody's ass you whoop, all the different enemies, you unlock them in the two-player mode. So you can even fight as a Bobo, all the Chintais, the Williams, the Lindas, all that.
Nice. If they only had the Bobo from the Double Dragon movie.
Oh, fuck that.
The big old
Speaking of people
mutated
whose
Bobo.
face is made out of hamburger,
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's not just punches and kicks though. If you use those enemies, you can use their own special moves. So Williams, you could do the flinging front cartwheel. Some of the
Use
other
bondage
guys,
whips.
yeah, some of those other guys have weapons that they come with. The Williamses also have the knives that they can throw. They have those enemies from Double Dragon 2 that throw those. They look like morning stars, the chain maces and
Shurikens.
Yeah, I haven't seen any yet, but I haven't unlocked everybody. Yeah, there's 8 missions. Some of the missions happen really fast. You'll blow through 3 in a minute, and the others get drug out real long. If you beat the game, you unlock a tower, and there's 100 levels to battle through. Yeah, and you get trophies in the PlayStation 4 and I guess the Steam version as well to beat the game with some of the characters you unlock. So I believe that's something else you unlock when you beat the game is, the ability to use those ones you unlock for 2-player in the campaign. So you get to, a Bobo it all the way through if you'd like. So the game itself,
How much is it now?
it's $6.99.
Yeah,
Really
very
good.
reasonable.
Yeah, very
That's not
reasonable.
bad at all.
You get to choose between using the retro soundtrack, as it's called, or the original soundtrack that they've made for it, which is just a revamped version, which is not a cobbled together thing that they just spit onto it. It's nice. This is a damn good sounding
Orchestrated,
sound.
pretty much.
Yeah, but it's just there's new songs into it too. It just gets really fucking rocking. I'm a little confused by the story because Marion's in it, and she totally got murdered in Double Dragon 2. So, yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Maybe Double Dragon 4 fits between 1 and 2, technically.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe that's what's going
Some
on.
of that weird fuckery. We've worked ourselves in a corner here. Aha! Alternate timeline.
Now, I don't know if a lot of people know, but the original Double Dragon is set in a post-apocalyptic Los Angeles, just like the shitty movie talks about. So the game starts off pretty Mad Max. I mean, there's sandy cannons out there, and there's people that have the spiked shoulder pads. And stuff.
Sounds like a porn name. Starring Sandy Cannons.
He shot his load on Sandy Cannons. That's just wrong. She usually blows the load. That's terrible.
They have a lot of...
she launched a cannonball out of her puss wall. I've seen it.
They have a lot of the fighting moves back. Some are original. There's this one where you have this harsh forward, spinning thing. It looks like when you do the jump and dive thing with Dhalsim in Street Fighter 2, where he kind of does a little 360 torpedo.
Does that
thing.
Indian bullshit he does?
So you've got that going on. The cool thing that they've added is like a rising recovery type of thing. So if you get swarmed with enemies after you've got knocked down and you feel like you're going to get punched in the face again because they're hovering right over your down self, you can mash the punch button so that you can hit them with an uppercut and clear everybody off of you.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, nice.
And if you do that with a kick, then you do it with a flying rising knee like Sagat in Street Fighter, and that too blows everybody off of you like that in a big explosion. I guess like when Neo throws all the agents off of Matrix Reloaded. It still has the thing where you can hair pull somebody into a knee bash. They've got the spinning kick that's kind of like Ken and Ryu from Street Fighter that you've seen in Super Double Dragon, and I believe Double Dragon 3. That's back. So yeah, they got a few good fighting moves for Billy and Jimmy.
Nice.
There's some things that are in the game that first timers might be a little frustrated with, but I think anybody that's played the originals on at least the NES, if they haven't messed with the Game Boy or the Super Nintendo version, would find difficult. But as a fan of Double Dragon that, knows how to play beat 'em ups, that doesn't find them difficult, appreciated. And you can tell that maybe it was inspired by some of the ROMs and fan hacks that have floated out on the internet.
Yeah.
Because there's scenarios in the game that are awesome, but you feel like the original makers would have not put in the game. Maybe to technical limitations, but maybe also not to be too harsh on the player. Which is crazy because I feel like Double Dragon 4 is easier than Double Dragon 2. But it's still a kind of challenging game. So I would put it on the difficulty of Streets of Rage 1 for the Genesis.
Okay.
So it's a challenge, but it's not.
It's fair.
Yeah, it's definitely fair. So a Bobo, he can charge now. He can run like a bull and get across the screen real quick. There's one part toward it's in the final level where you get stuck in an elevator like Super Double Dragon 4 with an Abobo. So you have this close quarters cage match all of a sudden. You can have multiple Abobos on the screen. That has happened in the original. There's just various other things. The only thing I think that was bullshit in the game is sometimes you can come up ladders and there's no way to get those people to fuck off. As soon as you come up that ladder, you can take a punch in the face.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Other than that, there's no bullshit, unfairness in the game. Every time you get your face punched aside from that ladder thing is totally fair. So the backgrounds look really, really nice because like that cannon thing where it looked very Mad Max 2, you can see draw distance out there. You can see tire tracks were winding down a road.
Yeah.
And you can see city lights, just cool stuff like that. They have some of the classic weapons are back. There's baseball bats and shit in there. One of the things they added I thought was really cool is some of the harbor levels. You can see a giant shipping container, and Billy and Jimmy Lee can just pick it up like it's a fucking random weapon, and all of a sudden you're just incredibly hulking this giant fucking steel container. and you throw it at somebody and it just shatters and instant kills them. But a lot of the times it will also
that's every day going to work for me.
it will also spray out like items to pick up. So sometimes it's just like one baseball bat. And so you're like, yay, free weapon. Sometimes it's nothing. And you're like, okay, well, I just used this as a weapon towards somebody. Sometimes it'll throw like 8 sticks of dynamite. And just like in the original games, if you don't touch them, they will just go off eventually while they're laying around on the ground. So I threw a shipping container at one dude's face. People start rushing in after he died. And then there's like 8 sticks of dynamite laying on the ground. And I was kind of using the zigzag technique to get them on the plane I wanted to and walk them into, because, you know, they kind of track you so they can line up and punch you in the face. I would let them walk into the dynamite. And so there's just like death going off everywhere. It's really cool.
It's a trap.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool like that. So yeah, unlike the NES version, it's 2-player mode, the little head-to-head fighting. That was actually like pretty shitty a mode, but the 2-player fighting one and this one is pretty addictive. I think you get some good fights going on, especially since some of them have weapons on them that you can use. Like when you pick Williams, since he comes with knives, he gets 15 of them, and you can use them. And then they're gone. But it's cool that you've got that to begin with. So some don't get weapons like a Bobo, but you know, he's got his moves. So everybody feels very unique. It's not like, oh, just another sprite of somebody who can punch and kick.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. It's definitely worth the $6.99 price tag. It's definitely worth it for Double Dragon fans. It's definitely worth it for people that are liking all these 8-bit graphic retro games that are coming out,
Retro
like
revival,
right? Like Shovel Knight and stuff like that. So I don't think there's any particular gamer that this wouldn't appeal to that can have a good time with this kind of stuff. I don't really see anybody that would get turned off by it unless you just are only into the newest and latest and greatest stuff. So I highly recommend it.
and if you're only in the newest and latest greatest shit, then
Well, you're listening
Wrong
to us.
fuck you listening to us for.
I didn't play too much of Yakuza, so I'm just gonna, touch on some things about it.
I am kind of interested about Yakuza because it's pretty much open world fucking Tokyo.
Yeah, it's
Right.
yeah, it's the only way it's like Grand Theft Auto is that it's mostly open world. You'll run into some invisible walls, and that doesn't sound terrible, but it's more like city hubs, like in the Deus Ex Human Revolution or something like that. But like Grand Theft Auto, they went back and they did it retro. It's like a Grand Theft Auto Vice City. So yeah, Yakuza Zero being, hey, prequel.
Yeah.
It's set in the 1980s Tokyo, and it's very realistically so. I mean, the wardrobe is something that actually existed. It's not something they made up. There's billboards for the Sony Walkman. There's just stuff like that that's in the background. The game is beautiful, especially in close-up cinematics of people's faces. I mean, you can see pores. It's really cool. The game is it's a port of a Japanese game, obviously, that was already out not too long ago. So everything is subtitled, and everybody speaks in their native tongue of Japanese. But before that turns you off, the voice acting is so good that even though it's in Japanese, you're just blown away that this is like Hollywood quality right there.
Yeah.
And I was shocked because Sega puts out some, not
shit.
bad games, but they put out some really awkward stuff sometimes.
There's some questionable choices that Sega's made.
This is probably like the best production values of a Sega title in recent memory.
It's probably the biggest
it's
production
fantastic.
value of a Sega title recently.
And that's because Yakuza is absolutely loved over there in Japan. And we've had a few of the games. Like we had Yakuza on the PS2, the first one on PS2 here in America. So it's found its market. We got Yakuza 3 on the PS3. So the game, like Grand Theft Auto, though, is also jam-packed with all sorts of extra activities, which Yakuza is famous for. You could play pool table. You can play this game where you're in a batting cage and you're going for home runs and stuff. All that stuff's super addictive. But then you've got unique things like trading real estate. So mafia connections can, work out to your favor. You can make extra money on the side. And then there's stuff that's very Yakuza. And don't mean in the gangster sense. I mean, it's so very much a flagship of the entire franchise.
Series.
Yeah. In that it's silly. You can, there's this friend you can make, and I just happened upon him in this establishment. Okay. So I'm walking around and I see all NPCs walking around everywhere. And out of the corner of my eye, I see this dude wearing nothing but tidy whities. This little bald guy with the happiest, creepiest smile ever. And he is a classic stereotype.
Sounds like my priest. Oh, sorry.
Flashback.
Sorry.
Hey, I'm a bald dude with a creepy smile.
Are you my priest?
Do you dance?
I can be.
Do you dance around in your tidy whities in public?
Usually.
Is there any other way to dance?
Today Sunday, then yes.
He's a classic stereotype of like a Japanese pervert, and his name is even Mr. Libido. But you can befriend him, which benefits you, and just do it anyways, because this guy is just a boatload of fun. I could not fucking stop laughing whenever this guy was on screen. And he always does this little dance where he's just like waving his arms in a circle around his head, and then he does like this little pelvic thrust, But he's got his own theme playing, and I don't know if you've got it queued up on YouTube.
I
or
don't.
not.
We can't play it.
Yeah,
we got a new mixer, and we can't play from computer to the mixer now, so we got to get everything on the soundboard.
Look it up on YouTube, and I mean, hell, just get the game. But as far as the mini games that are very much odd and unique to this franchise, there is a mini game where you can have phone sex. You could be a phone sex operator, and these dialogue boxes float across the screen. So this girl chats and says something, and you got to pick the better appropriate spawns. So it's like those, I guess like Mass Effect, where you pick the correct dialogue tree, and you can be successful that way. There's actual legit live action softcore porn you can unlock in the game too.
Fuck yes.
The great thing about this game is, unlike a lot of Japanese games where they either westernize it or they censor it, it's absolutely 100% uncensored. Because I guess they figured it's 2017 and we do put some shit in our American games over
They're
here,
like
so they're
a
let this
goddamn
happen.
real estate tycoon that sells fucking steaks on the side as the president of America. They're fucking ready.
Who starred in 3 Playboy lesbian pornos on VHS tape. So
he was also in The Little Rascals. He was Waldo's father.
Home Alone 2. And
Son of a bitch. Always knew I hated Waldo. Little fucker with his camera. Fuck him.
And he tried to cop a feel and kiss Rudy Giuliani in drag on SNL. I think it was SNL.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much an all-around great American.
He is the quintessential American.
Yeah, that's what every American wants to be.
Literally a golden god.
We look at him and I
would have killed 20 hookers to be Donald Trump.
Dude.
I'm pretty sure he killed 20 hookers to be Donald Trump.
my stomach can
He
be
may
hurting
have.
and I look at Donald Trump and it makes me literally shit a bald eagle. For America.
That's fantastic.
It's true. I mean, don't you shit bald eagles? Don't you love...
How do you think I got the scar?
You must not love America enough. Is that... Are you... Well, are you anti-Americans?
Basically, are you a Nazi? That's these days, you're either an American or you're a Nazi.
Hell no. But, after this game, it makes me wish I'd spend more time in Japan, because it's definitely
It's not run by
world.
Trump?
No. But it's definitely an engrossing and unique world. I mean, the people you talk to, the sites you see, the activities you go through.
I kind of imagine the Yakuza series would be like a not as bullshitty Shenmue. In a weird
it's
way.
exactly what it is. I think it's what Shenmue should have been. And I think that's why Sega really abandoned, Shenmue. It's because this was way
Which
edgier,
I hate it because
way better.
I do like Shenmue as much as
I did like playing the original quite
it
a bit,
hasn't
so
held up in
it just
recent years.
Yeah, it
but
just didn't stand the test of time.
I mean, just something about walking around. I'd like to know where sailors get tattooed at. Could you tell me about the 3 blades? They're like, this is a fucking rice shop. Get the fuck out of here.
What do you know about Chinese people?
Well, hello, y'all.
So, aside from all the silly shit and the retro aesthetic that I've been talking about, you're like, okay, Yakuza, so where's the gangster shit? Oh my god. Don't worry, that is definitely the star of the show. This game has an amazing, engaging storyline. I mean, you're going to get wrapped up into it. It is serious. I know I'm about to talk about a Hong Kong film here when I'm talking about a Japanese game, but bear with me. It's still that gritty action stuff that you would see from The Killer or Hard Boiled.
I was going to say Hard Boiled.
Yeah.
Fucking great.
Fucking John Woo all day long.
What was the game sequel to that? I missed that game.
Stranglehold. I recommend playing that.
That's a great fucking game.
I beat that maybe last year or the year before, and oh my god, I kicked myself for letting it sit on my shelf for a couple of years. It is so
I beat
good.
that a few times back when I had a 360. It was a great fucking
straight
game.
up gun fu shit.
Yeah,
oh my god, yeah.
I'm proud.
Really
cool. I loaned that movie to my father-in-law the other day. He was over at my place and he's like, "You got any DVDs I can borrow?" I was like, "Hey, you should check this one out."
Yeah, one of my top 5.
You letting him hard boiled?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
One of my top 5 favorite action films. It's just, oh man, there's 2 great scenes, 3 great shootouts in that. Really awesome. But so yeah. It's not a gunplay type of game. It's since it's the 80s and because it's Japan, I mean, they don't really have guns flown all over the place like we do here in our country. So it's
America. Just in case you forgot, never forget America.
So
everyone's got a gun in the shitter.
It is all hand-to-hand stuff.
I got a gun that shoots bald eagles.
You don't think
uses bald eagles.
You don't think you need a gun in the shitter? I see what John Travolta thought of that.
And if you're listening to this podcast and you're not from this country, just let it be known that we have T-shirt guns. I mean, we have guns for everything. We have marshmallow guns.
Maud Flanders was killed with a T-shirt gun thanks to Homer's stupid ass.
I never forget one time, there's this auto shop place down there, Carady's Transmission.
Yeah.
And I had my car there one time, and it's me and my buddy there. Went to the bathroom, fucking loaded 12 gauge pump shotgun is in the bathroom. I'm like, I could just rob the place with your own gun. I mean,
which one of you fucks left this fucking gun in the bathroom? Oh, that's mine. Where's mine now? Give me some goddamn money.
But I mean, they were prepared for that, for the Pulp Fiction situation, though. You gotta have that shitter gun.
That's true. After watching that movie, I definitely want to keep one at least strapped to the bottom of the tank.
Yeah. You just gotta be sure that you can emulate that fucking sour ass look of Bruce Willis gives when he just kind of looks down and he's like, he's just like so nonchalantly, like you just imagine looking at John Travolta and be like, "Well, I fucking hated Saturday Night Fever." Yeah, fuck Grease.
This is for staying alive. Battlefield Earth.
Those Look Who
Even
Talking.
though that's in the future.
Those Look Who Talking movies were goddamn retarded.
Oh yeah, but
anything with John Travolta in it's got the immediate hex of death on it.
But the fucking
Nicolas Cage
hand-to-hand combat in this game is just brutal. There's this fight you have in a fucking men's bathroom where you are just bashing people's faces into the countertop near the sink. You even trip this guy's feet out from underneath him and shove his face into a urinal. And then you kick the motherfucker out the window so hard. I mean, your jump kick is a full follow through that you go out the window too.
Japanese, you get that fucking ninja kick, man. Like
you go out the window too, but at the last second, you stick your arms through and hang on the ledge and pull yourself back into the window while he falls 2 stories out into the street. You know,
it's another case for that shitter gun.
But you can
do that fucking Brandon Lee Crow move there.
Yeah, but you can upgrade your fighting moves too to where you start doing ridiculous shit, like you're doing this break dancing spinning on your head with this spinning helicopter Chun-Li bird kick while on fire. You've got like blue flame on you and stuff, so you're just like maxing out your character with your fighting moves. Eventually
that's one of the things I love about Bayonetta is the over top upgrades.
Yeah, it reminded me of that for sure. That's a good point, definitely along those lines there. So It's just a game that you are not going to get bored with. You have plenty to do, but it's not overstuff you like Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead Redemption. There's not like too much shit to do. It's a
You're
good
not
bite-sized
sitting there
stuff.
for 400 or 500 hours trying to get that 100% complete on shit.
No, and I definitely think that, I mean, it's an absolute steal and something that's a no-brainer to get when it's $20, but it's definitely a justified price tag of $60, especially since the business launch edition is something that they added a business card holder to, and little cards that have the women from the pornos on it. And I mean, they're in bikinis on the cards. They're not going to like package in porn with the game.
Yeah.
But they're those little I can't remember what they call them in Japan, but there's a term for the collector's cards.
Yeah,
with,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, with scantily clad women on them. So that's packaged
It's
in the
not-
game too.
Hannah.
It's not Hanafuda. No.
Okay.
Those
yeah.
are actual playing
Yeah,
cards.
that's just
yeah.
normal playing cards.
But yeah, that all comes in it, and it's worth seeking that out. And because one, it's not rare. It's not being sold for higher dollar on eBay either. You can still get them at most GameStops. I got mine at my local GameStop, just walking in there. And it's still also $60. So if you want a little bit of extras, you don't have to feel guilty shelling out more for like $100 collector's edition. It's the same price as just getting the disc. So I
That's
mean,
cool.
you might as well.
Oh, yeah.
So
I mean, same bang for the buck. You might as well get the more banging out of your buck.
So Yakuza 0 is just definitely one of the most justified priced games to get launch or otherwise in the future when it's cheaper. You're getting a lot for, what you pay. So because it's a prequel and because the game is so good, it stands alone. You can jump in now and buy this game and not have played Yakuza 1 through 4 in the past, because Yakuza 0 is the 5th game. And if you like this game, if you thought it was hilarious, or you thought it was badass, or you thought it was fun with all its various mini games to do, because there's way too many to count, be happy to know that they are releasing a remake of the first one this year. They're putting out the 6th game this year. So that's 3 Yakuza games that are coming out in 2017, as counting, Yakuza 0 that came out this month, or January. So yeah, have fun with that. I couldn't recommend it enough.
Thank you, Sega.
Sega's been fixing their company's mistakes this last year and this year.
They're doing certainly a lot better than they were. I'm genuinely excited for Sonic Mania.
Sega
'Cause
and Capcom
shit looked good to
and
me.
Konami were all going down the shitter, and Sega immediately perked itself up to perfection. They are no longer in any way, shape, or form bad. Capcom has definitely tried to go the way of Konami, and they've picked themselves back up. And they're about to be perfect. Konami is still in the shitter.
Yeah, Konami isn't doing anything.
They're making goddamn Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater pachinko machines with remastered graphics that got us all cock-teased for a re-release, and nope. All those pre-rendered scenes that we thought were beautiful, and oh yay, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake.
It sucks because they're like,
goddamn
woo,
pachinko.
Metal Gear 3, Solid Snake, pachinko, blah blah blah, Solid or Snake Eater, pachinko, blah blah blah. I'm a Metal Gear fan, and I'm just like, fuck you, Konami. Snake Eater is my least favorite fucking Metal Gear out of the entire series.
If I'm gambling, there's only one kind of snake eater I'm worried about. It's the back alley hooker.
Yeah,
I'm a big Silent.
She getting the trouser snake.
I'm a big Silent Hill fan.
The
But
trouser earthworm in this case.
when they released that pachinko machine, all it did was make me
Nightcrawler.
fucking cry. Oh god. But yeah, all it did was make me fucking cry. That's not what you do to Silent Hill. You don't cancel Silent Hills and then release a pachinko machine. So, yeah, way to go, Sega. You've been doing great with your merch, especially your music releases on vinyl and Spotify, and resurrecting old classics. So, I mean, I like
Honestly,
Sega.
the only
Great
game
job.
this year that I'm looking forward to. I'm kind of looking forward to Breath of the Wild. I've never been major into Zelda. I've always enjoyed it. I'll probably play it with my daughter. The new Berserk game, it should be out this year in North America. It's already out in Japan, but
Zelda Breath of the Wild and Friday 13th, my two.
I'm looking forward to Friday the
Eagerly
13th,
anticipated.
Drift Stage, and Strafe. But full disclosure, I kickstarted all 3 of those. But there's a reason. I mean, they look like legit fantastic games. So
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason.
that's why I backed
yeah.
them. I mean, I didn't just back them because.
Yeah, you don't want to back fucking. What's that one game that's really goddamn terrible that's $15 on the PlayStation Store now? I Am Bread. Shit like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Oh, I
It's
bought
fucking-
that. It was fucking. I don't know why I bought that.
It's one of the. It's a YouTuber game, like Goat
Yeah, it
Simulator
really
and-
is.
Shit, that was a news thing I missed earlier. Speaking of YouTubers, I wanted to tell you this because I thought this is something that you can tear into in probably a sentence or less. YouTuber CND is already in motherfucking line to be the first person in North America to buy the Nintendo Switch.
What the fuck?
Already in line. Said he wanted to beat Isaiah Triforce Johnson.
You know, I'm gonna. I got a special thanks in that fucking documentary that Triforce was gonna be in, The Power of Glove. And now,
Dude, what
I'm
a
not so happy about
fucking boner, man. Like,
Yeah.
I've watched
I found out a little bit more
quite
about
a few
him.
documentaries on him, and I don't know. He may be a nice guy. I don't fucking know the dude personally,
Yeah, maybe.
but just kind of from what I've seen, he is all about some fuckery.
I will never consider giving other people money an achievement. Buying something first is not an achievement.
Yeah, how is that?
No, he just yeah. Just because you got the fucking Wii U and talked to Howard Lincoln doesn't mean you're successful. It kind of means you're a fucking
It
idiot.
kind of means you're probably unemployed.
Yeah.
Because you waited for weeks for a
Well,
system.
I don't know the deal with that guy, but that's one of the things on some of the message boards I got on is that kind of, I guess persuaded me from finding out more about him is like he runs that Empire Arcadia or whatever it's called up north, which is where the home of the champions is what they call it. And kind of what I kind of hear is he kind of, which he holds Guinness records and shit too on certain games. I'm not doubting his gamer skills. I'm assuming he's probably a pretty good gamer.
Yeah.
But I kind of hear that, and like I said, this is all hearsay. So if somebody important's listening, don't fucking crucify me for it if I'm wrong. But kind of hear he leeches off of everybody.
Reach out to us and talk to us about it.
Yeah. I just kind of hear he leeches off of all his people that
That's what
lives under
that's the
him
vibe I got.
success.
It's like, little Johnny wants to be like the Street Fighter champion, but his daddy's telling him to get out and get a real fucking job. So he's like, "Oh, come up here, you can bum off me, eat some Cheetos, and I'm gonna take your winnings."
Yeah, it's kind of that thing like, hey, you get to live here and you get to train and you get to have sessions and eat all day and you don't have to work. But when you win that fucking $50,000 cash prize or whatever it is, you're going to pay me for the fucking year you've stayed here, and you're going to pay me for all the food you've eaten, and you're going to pay me for all the fucking electricity and video game systems you've
You
used.
may or may not get your kneecaps busted because you don't need kneecaps to play video games.
I'm
I don't
personal
understand
friends
the
with Joe
point.
Pesci, and his little ass will fucking wreck you.
I don't understand the point of holing up with other gamers and doing that. Then just get yourself a goddamn apartment. Like,
Well, then you got to have a job.
Well,
okay, you beat me there.
yeah, they're very uncouth living techniques to be able to support yourself doing that, I guess.
You know what? I that reminds me. I also missed a news thing, and along the similar lines, Guru Larry Bundy of games Yanks Can't Wank and Fact Hunt, one of my favorite YouTubers, is just put a post out on Facebook of him holding up the Ultimate NES Guidebook by Pat Contry, or the Pat the NES Punk, and basically mocked how fucking worthless it was, and let everybody know in the comments that he did not pay for that book, that he was just taking a picture with his friend's book, and then proceeded to absolutely bash Pat. Now this isn't a knock against Guru Larry Bundy. It's just a guy who's always right and always a really nice dude was letting everybody know that, like, Pat's not really the guy you think he is, and so everybody's come out with stories of him.
He's your typical probably celebrity
meeting Pat at expos or like
celebrity
flea markets and stuff, and him just being like a dismissive ass to people, or just being rude to them, trying to sell them things. At the flea markets,
it's kind of the vibe we call it, because when we done
shots fired
our last interviews at Southern Fried, or just one of our last talkings to some people, it just kind of seems like, I don't know, and I don't know if this is true either. If this, being as how this is the way things are working, but it kind of seems like everybody calls him to get his, I wouldn't say permission, I don't guess, but his blessing to do shit.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Kind of like
he's popped up on a few documentaries and TV shows.
Well, that whole group, it's all a tight knit little community of them. All the original retro gaming YouTubers are all in that shit together. They can say what they want,
Yeah.
James Rolfe, Pat Contry, fucking Alpha Omega Sin, and Gamester 84. All of them shit. They all fucking know each other on a personal
Guru Larry Bundy,
level,
has said that Gamester 841 or something like that is his name.
Or something. Yeah.
He said he was a cool guy, but he also in that same post was bashing Alpha Omega Sin as a little twit. So
I've got the douchebag vibe from him. I don't know him though. It's real easy to sit back and be like, "Oh, these guys."
You can make assumptions from somebody a mile away and not know a fucking thing.
Yeah, I'm not saying this is Bible truth, because I don't know anything negative about Pat or Alpha Omega Sin, but to see so many people come out against them, and it's not just the usual trolling hate stuff. It's actual anecdotes that are paragraphs long about, I met him at this and this retro gaming expo.
Yeah.
And, he did this and this to me.
He shit in my kid's candy bag and told me to fuck off, and then he fucking pissed on my NES.
It's a little too specific to be bullshit. And if Guru Larry is, backing them, I trust that guy. He's always checked out. He's never done anything controversial, and he's a big sweetheart. He's like one of those real nice guy type of gamers, like Metal Jesus is. So if he's saying it, I believe him. And to see so many people say that stuff, it's made me worry about Pat.
I don't doubt it at all, because there's a lot of people who they've achieved just a little bit of success. I just turned into complete fucking douchebag.
Yeah, and he's already been controversial in the past for various things. The Cheetahman controversy about the Cheetahman 2 Kickstarter being a ripoff. James Rolfe, the Angry Video Game Nerd, also backed that as well. But when he found out it was a scam, he apologized to people and said that he didn't know and he wasn't aware. But Pat instead was calling people names and then just like deleting their comments off of. So he was being a dick.
That's the worst. If you see comment deletions,
you can't handle the fucking heat, man. Get out of the kitchen, dude. Like.
Well, he just recently also pissed some people off because he does the thing he does the most now on his YouTube channel, aside from because he doesn't post as much the Pat the NES Punk like episodes of his show. Is the CU podcast, which is the completely unnecessary podcast that he does with his buddy Ian, who's been out sick for quite a while.
Hence the title, it's completely unnecessary. Good Ole Gamers for life.
Well, there's this other guy that does a podcast called the CU podcast, and it stands for Catch Up Podcast, because it's him and his buddy. They live, quite a bit of distance from each other in, I believe, California. And they catch up every week on this podcast, and they just randomly shoot out bullshit like we do, like we were talking about movies a little while ago.
Yeah,
and it's just about them catching up because their friends live apart so far.
Yeah, just
random conversation. Yeah.
And their hashtag whenever they post a new episode is CU Podcast, just like Pat. Some people have gotten confused that were Pat fans and were saying, CU Podcast, and they try to follow him, and they got this other guy's thing. They're like, oh, okay, are you Pat the NES Punk? And he was just like, he's like, no, I'm not. And so he would post these little pictures or GIFs that were just like, people shaking their heads or people being like, what? Because he's like, who the fuck is Pat? Just stuff like that. Well, because he said he posted a GIF of somebody going, "Who the fuck?" like that. Pat took that as being rude, and it was like an attack. And so he started like kind of berating this guy and saying that you don't need to be so rude to my fans, except that he wasn't. He posted a little funny GIF, but he took that as like he was screaming at somebody. But it's Twitter. You can't scream at somebody on Twitter. So he was acting like they were literally being rude to his fans, to the point where he was trying to get like Pat to see the light, see the reason, and he ended up blocking him. So, yeah, he's just been pissing off all sorts of people lately.
I don't know the guy at all, but I have listened.
I've
watched some of his videos, and I've listened to his podcast, and just the way he talks, and like he doesn't mind talking down to people that have negative things and negative connotations to say about shit. Mm-hmm. But he also will be one of the first people to just blast the fuck out of something that he don't like. And it comes off to me like, and I'm not saying he's like this, so I don't know the guy at all, never met him, but I kind of assume in a way he acts like, I have a full NES collection. I've put out a book. I know more about fucking Nintendo than you will ever know. And that's why Larry posted that picture. I'm a fucking encyclopedia of this shit.
And that's why Larry Bundy posted that picture. He's like, I look through the book. The book is outrageously priced. He's like, $60, give me a break. And he said, I look through the book.
How has Nintendo not shut him down from making that fucking book yet? That's one thing I want to know. They shut down people doing fucking fan hacks and shit. This motherfucker's making a published book and selling.
And they shut down somebody doing that, the whole archive of the, Nintendo Power, because they were going to put out a book to coincide with the NES Classic Edition launch. So, I don't know how he didn't get shut down. But Larry was calling bullshit, but one, because he was acting like some, end-all be-all authority. And two, because he thought he did star ratings in the book. And he thought some of the star ratings for the games were like utter bullshit. He's just like, how in the hell could you give this 4 or 5 stars? And, how could you give this, 2 or 3 stars? And I mean, that's all opinion based. So that's not something I'm going to side with any one person on. But I can understand being upset by the pretentiousness of it. And because there are a few people out there that do have full, NES collections that have completed them, and a lot of them have taken issue with him putting himself out there in the media as like, I don't know,
the guru.
The guru of it, speaking for all of them, which is why he was at first beloved on Nintendo Age, and he touted Nintendo Age for a while, and has since have a soured relationship with them to the point where he talks about Atari Age more on his podcast. So he's just been pissing off so many people lately. I thought it was something I should shed a light on. That
kind of ultimately, just like, to me, I play fucking video games because I have deep-rooted connections and feelings.
Yeah. I have
playing video games.
Personal with each game.
It's sentimental. And I'm sure he does, does too. You wouldn't fucking spend that kind of money and spend that kind of time and that kind of effort for something that you don't really give a shit about.
Right. He did this way before, social media was big. So he's not one of those guys posting on Instagram like, look at how many games I have.
Yeah.
He had a love for it.
And that's fun and all. And that's why we do that shit. But it kind of seems to me, like, I don't know how to explain. There's more to like the hobby, I guess, than just fucking collecting the shit and seeing yourself as being the fucking alpha and omega to everybody. I don't know how to explain.
To be fair, Pat has said the same thing on his podcast. I drank a little too much beer.
I had an idea I was running with, and I'm like, I don't know how to word this shit.
I think where a lot of the douchebagginess can come from, and like I said, I don't know if he's this way or not, but it seems like most of his success has come from the fame from this, whereas some of the coolest people we've talked to, like, Scott Schreiber and Mark from Retro Gaming Roundup, their success came from their own accomplishments in life. Really
Thank you. That's what I was trying to. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get out. Like, you haven't fucking cured cancer because you got a goddamn complete NES collection.
They're like us. They're talking about this stuff because they just like it. This isn't like who they are. This is something that this is part of them, but it is not all they are.
It doesn't define their whole
Right.
character.
And like I said, I don't know if Pat's like that, but it very well could be that, you know, Pat the NES Punk is Pat. That's all he is. And so he takes such pride and, I guess, pretentiousness from that.
Well, it's just like the Billy Mitchell thing. You hear all this shit about Billy Mitchell being this savage fuck beast, and then you meet the guy and you're like, he's a pretty cool dude.
Right.
You know, like,
and he's successful
that's why,
outside of that shit.
And that's why originally I wasn't sure if I was even going to talk about it on the podcast. But the thing that made me decide to open up about it was that so many of the anecdotes, you know, were too detailed to not be legit.
People just don't make shit up like that for their fucking health.
Right.
Like,
and while I did,
if they do,
like,
you know, they're a terrible fuck.
right. And while I did like, you know, Pat's, some of his episodes of the podcast on YouTube and, some of his cameos in James Rolfe's work, because I mean I don't know anybody that's a retro gamer that really hates James, because I mean he's the one that really pioneered the YouTube game reviewer thing.
Yeah,
and he's a really down to earth guy. On top of that, he is definitely one of the people that are not a douchebag. He is a good guy.
I've seen people who've met with him at conventions and stuff, and I've never
he's
seen
quiet.
him. Yeah,
he's
no
sweet.
one said anything bad about him.
Right.
I've seen a lot of the people talking about meeting Pat and Ian at conventions, and everybody's always like, Ian's a cool dude to meet.
Yeah,
like, Pat
I like Ian a lot.
Comes off like, well, I'm Pat the NES Punk.
Yeah.
The fuck are you, peasant? You know,
And the other thing that made me decide to, you know, okay, well, I should talk about this is again, you know, Guru Larry's also got a name for himself out there. But just like James, he's also got a reputation for, one, knowing what the fuck he's talking about, two, not being a bragger about his collection, and three, being a really nice dude to talk with. He's never pretentious. He's really just like, yeah, hey guys, here to have fun. You know,
Yeah.
so that's why I decided to mention it. So
I think we need to wrap this episode up. We'll probably.
Yeah, I've got to be in bed like now. I've got to be up in like fucking 3.5 hours.
I feel your pain,
4.
man.
Yeah, we're already like 2 hours and 15 in. So
Let's wrap her up.
wrap her, or don't wrap her up if you want to get a little
yeah.
frisky with us.
Hey, we're doing that, man. I only raw dog it.
Oh yeah, dude, straight up.
If she don't raw dog, I say no, dog.
that's the American way.
If I can't spit in it, she ain't getting it. So, follow us at goodolegamers.com, Facebook, Good Ole Gamers Podcast. Check us out on iTunes, Stitcher.
Back on TuneIn. So
Back on TuneIn.
I don't know why we dropped off there, but we're back on there.
Got some static shit on YouTube. Same old stuff. It's there. It ain't went anywhere. I'm still going to try to get us on that Podbean. I've been doing a little research in it. It's just kind of like they just share podcasts.
I'm pretty sure it's just the hosting side.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. The phrase escaped me. But yeah, do all that. Got anything you want to toss up before we go?
Yeah, you can follow me on Facebook at MaxForce357 official, and on Twitter for MaxForce357 as well. Instagram also MaxForce357. Only thing I want to plug is the Kickstarter for the Super Nintendo guidebook.
Do not say goddamn Shaq Fu on this show again.
No.
Okay.
No,
we've tried to rid ourselves of this.
Jeffrey Wittenhagen just got that mailed out to everybody, but they also came with a second book, the Super Nintendo Compendium, and I've wrote a 2-page spread for the Ninja Warriors, and there's a lot of good reviews that other people have written too. But while you're there checking out mine, check out everybody else's. And he also just put a Kickstarter out that's already been funded for NES oddities. Because like the Super Nintendo guidebook, he already did an NES one. So this one's for like unreleased stuff, homebrews, hacks, just
nice
odd shit like that. So, check out that active Kickstarter and go back and read my review in the Super Nintendo Compendium book from Jeffrey Wittenhagen. That's all I got.
Nice. Do all that shit, y'all. If you didn't catch it, hit the back button and listen again. That's all you gotta do.
Yep.
I guess until fucking next week, we'll see you then. So, Jason, you'll sign us off?
Game over, man. Game over.
And Ric Flair's going to drive down there in his super long limo and Rolex, and he's going to put his fist up in your mama. Woo!